Why don't you believe me, Eric? Princess Seraphina demanded, sitting with Eric Hunter in the courtyard of his home. I'm telling you, that treasure is immense, and you'll need to embark on a new, perilous quest to claim it. Eric shook his head in disbelief. I can't accept that it's the rarest treasure in the world, he said, making a face. Fine. Don't believe me, Princess Seraphina retorted. But if that crimson diamond falls into the hands of the King of Arias and Queen Miraj, Lord Amir Hamza will be in grave danger. If they succeed in conquering the Sevenfold Enchantment, they'll possess the crimson diamond. With it, they can make their army's armor stronger than steel. Lord Amir Hamza's forces could be defeated by the King of Arias. You and your wife, Princess Stella Moon, must undertake this quest together. The condition is that only a pair, a man and a woman, can embark on it. At the end of this dangerous journey, you'll find not only the world's rarest treasure, but also the crimson diamond, which holds countless powers. By enchanting their armor with this diamond, it will become as strong as steel, allowing them to defend against any enemy. Prince Arsing Dev, Princess Seraphina's betrothed, supported her words. Eric, why won't you listen to them? Princess Seraphina has given you countless rare treasures, and her kind-hearted father gifted you the rare Zandil. Why doubt her now? Princess Stella Moon, Eric's wife, tried to reason with him. Eric, she's right. They were sitting in their courtyard when suddenly Princess Seraphina and Prince Arsing Dev appeared before them. The delicate and beautiful, fairy-like Princess Seraphina left Stella in awe, while the towering, formidable Prince Arsing Dev initially frightened her. But Eric reassured her, there's no need to be afraid. This fairy giant couple has been my benefactor. They've helped me on many occasions. Still, Eric was surprised by their sudden arrival, without prior notice. Princess Seraphina explained the new, dangerous quest involving 7 rituals. At its end lay a priceless treasure, and the crimson diamond. But Eric, in Stella's presence, kept denying that such a treasure awaited them. Hearing the fairy and her giant betrothed, Princess Stella Moon grew excited at the prospect of finding treasure on this quest. Under normal circumstances, she might have fainted from fear and astonishment at seeing this fairy giant pair. But ever since she and Eric, alongside their enemies, the King of Arias and Queen Miraj, had destroyed the dark and terrifying enchantments of the underworld, her courage had grown. She was now ready to join Eric on this new adventure, where defeating fearsome enchantments would yield vast treasures. In their previous quest, they had acquired immense wealth, and Stella had claimed her rightful share. Eric couldn't deny her, because she had been his partner in that mission, and the treasure was divided in her presence. However, to avoid sharing the treasure this time, Eric wanted to undertake the quest alone. He tried to evade Princess Seraphina and Prince Arsing Dev's urging, but Stella, his wife, saw through his intentions. Eric, if you go on this quest alone, I'll break your legs, she said angrily. Do you think I don't know you? You want to go alone to keep all the treasure for yourself, but I won't let you go without me. Eric's face fell. Princess Seraphina and Prince Arsing Dev smiled at Stella's words and Eric's disappointed expression. Eric, the truth is, if you go alone, the enchantment's rules will lead to your doom. Even the powers of the Zambil won't protect you, Princess Seraphina explained. Eric nodded reluctantly. What happens if I don't go? He asked, startled. We forgot to mention, Prince Arsing Dev said. This enchantment has 2 parts, the Black Enchantment and the Crimson Enchantment, each with 7 terrifying trials. If the King of Arias and Queen Miraj conquer them, they'll strengthen their army with the Crimson Diamond, making it nearly impossible for Lord Amir Hamza to defeat them. They've already planned to tackle these enchantments. If they succeed, they'll reach the Crimson Diamond first. If they get the diamond, they could defeat Lord Amir Hamza's forces, leading to the triumph of evil over good. and claiming the world's rarest treasures. Hearing this, Eric grew worried. Then Stella and I must enter the Sevenfold Enchantment immediately to secure the Crimson Diamond before King of Arias and Queen Miraj, he said, alarmed. Meanwhile, the King of Arias turned to Queen Miraj. This isn't some trivial quest. In our last mission, we were forced to work with our arch-enemy Eric and his wife to destroy the underworld's dark enchantments. Many of our powerful spells failed then. I'm not lying, my lord, Queen Miraj replied. This quest is crucial. The Crimson Diamond's power will make our army invincible, allowing us to defeat Lord Amir Hamza, who has been a constant threat and has eliminated many of our finest sorcerers. This is our chance to seize the diamond and vast treasures by conquering the Sevenfold Enchantment. King of Arias nodded. Fine. I agree the diamond and treasure are invaluable. But if our magic fails like last time, we'll be in trouble. In the underworld quest, we had to save Eric and Stella, and they saved us out of necessity. Yes, my lord. That was a tough mission, Queen Miraj said. This enchantment has two parts, the Black Enchantment and the Crimson Enchantment, each with 7 trials. In the middle lies a cave with the world's rarest treasures and the Crimson Diamond. We must enter the Black Enchantment first to secure them before Eric learns of this quest. If he does, he'll take Stella and rush to the enchantment. Why would Eric bring Stella? King of Arias asked, surprised. The enchantment's rules require a man and a woman to enter together, Queen Miraj explained. If only one goes, the destroyed enchantments could revive with greater power, leading to death. Even Eric, with all his cunning, can't go alone. I have entered the enchantment myself, trusting my magic, but this rule binds me. We must go together to destroy the enchantments and claim the treasure and diamond. King of Arias grew concerned. If we enter one part and Eric learns of it later, he could enter the enchantments we've destroyed. Sneak into the treasure cave while we're distracted and steal the diamond and treasure. No, my lord, Queen Miraj reassured him. I've learned from the underworld's dark scorpion that once we enter a part, it seals shut. We can't leave until we destroy it, and no one else can enter. We must act quickly to ensure Eric doesn't reach the enchantment first. King of Arias summoned his magical mirror, the Mirror of Samri, to check on Eric and Stella. The mirror revealed them sitting in their courtyard, unaware of the quest, but suddenly it darkened. Why did the mirror go dark? King of Arias exclaimed. It means a mysterious force is guiding them, Queen Miraj said. We must leave for the enchantment now. King of Arias took her hand, chanted a spell, and they vanished from the room. Back with Eric and Stella, they felt as if they were flying through the air. Their eyes closed, as instructed by Princess Serafina and Prince Arsing Dev. Opening their eyes prematurely could blind them, a rule of the enchantment. Eric, experienced in such quests, knew to keep his eyes shut, and he warned Stella to do the same. When will he reach the enchantment? Eric asked, eyes still closed. Soon, Prince Arsing Dev's voice replied, holding Eric's hand, while Princess Serafina held Stella's. Moments later, their feet touched the ground. You can open your eyes now, Princess Serafina said. They found themselves in a mountain pass, but the fairy giant couple had vanished. Where did they go? Stella asked, scanning the pass. It means we're entering a dangerous enchantment, Eric said gravely. Their sudden disappearance suggests they can't assist us yet, or the enchantment could become even more terrifying. Will they come if we call? Stella asked, surprised. Not until we destroy a few enchantments, Eric replied. The rules prevent helpers from assisting until some trials are overcome, or the remaining enchantments become nearly impossible to defeat. Eric studied the pass, searching for the entrance to the Sevenfold Enchantment. You said destroyer, but it's destroyers since I'm with you, Stella teased, smiling instead of getting angry. In past quests, she had learned to stay calm and think strategically, even helping Eric in their first terrifying underworld mission. "You're right, my love," Eric said, smiling back. "This is our second enchanted quest together, and I'm glad to see your anger fade in this world. You're becoming remarkably clever." "After all, Eric, I'm not the wife of some ordinary man," Princess Stella Moon said with a smile, responding to Eric Hunter's words. "I'm the wife of Eric Hunter, the legendary trickster and sorcerer." Eric grinned back. "This quest doesn't involve our rival couple. If it did, I'd make those two troublemakers dance to my tune," he said, pulling a face. "But Eric, we mustn't get overconfident," Stella cautioned. The fairy and giant couple clearly said this enchantment has two parts, the black enchantment and the crimson enchantment. In the middle lies the treasure cave, with rare riches and the special crimson diamond. If we destroy all the trials of one part and reach the cave, we might encounter King of Arias and Queen Miraj. Even if we succeed in this quest, we must stay wary of those devils. Eric looked at Stella with admiration, impressed that she remembered the words of their benefactors, Princess Seraphina and Prince Arsingdev. "My dear, I'm now certain we'll conquer these difficult enchantments together. You're incredibly clever, facing this challenge with courage and wit instead of fear," he said, smiling as he praised her again. "Come on, let's find one of the Sevenfold Enchantment's entrances, so we can conquer it," Eric said in a serious tone, scanning the mountain pass for a doorway to the enchantment. "I don't think we'll find anything just standing here," Stella said. "We need to explore this mountain pass. The enchantment might be on the other side, and if we dawdle, those wretched King of Arias and Queen Miraj might cross the enchantments first, reaching the treasure cave and claiming the rare riches and the crimson diamond." Eric nodded in agreement. "You're right, my love. I think we're close to the enchantment, but we haven't found the path yet. We'll need to search around." They moved forward, heading toward the other side of the mountain pass. Though Stella was out of breath from the trek, she kept pace with Eric, driven by her eagerness to enter and conquer the enchantment. Their previous underworld quest had been terrifying, where they fought life and death battles to destroy the fiery enchantments alongside their eternal enemies, King of Arias and Queen Miraj. Though both couples were part of that mission, each pair had to enter separate parts of the enchantment. Yet, at the end, after destroying the 7 trials, they might face each other in the treasure chamber. Stella's success in that perilous quest had boosted her confidence, and Eric was relieved, knowing his fiery wife's royal blood awakened in enchantments, replacing her temper with sharp intellect. Moreover, Princess Seraphina and Prince Arsingdev had given Stella rare gifts for this quest. With her wit and courage, combined with those magical items, she could single-handedly destroy enchantments. But Eric, who had conquered countless formidable enchantments himself, was by her side. As they reached the other side of the pass, they spotted a pillar with a distinctive symbol carved into it, marking a small doorway shrouded in darkness. "If it's dark inside, does my Zambel have something to counter it?" Eric asked with a smile, pulling out the Solomonic ointment from his Zambel. He applied it to his eyes, and then to Stella's. "Eric, I still can't see anything," Stella said, peering into the dark doorway, where the blackness persisted. "I think I need to consult the talking doll," Eric muttered to himself, as he too saw only darkness. But when he tried to retrieve the talking doll from the Zambel, it vanished back inside. "What's this? Why did the doll go back?" he exclaimed, startled, and tried again to summon it. "Master, you cannot ask questions of the Solomonic tablet or the talking doll before entering the enchantment," the Zambel's guardian dwarf's voice echoed. "Why didn't Princess Seraphina or Prince Arsingdev tell me this?" Eric asked, shocked. "And where are that fairy and giant couple? They brought us here and then vanished. No answer came. My love, these must be very tough enchantments, Eric said to Stella. We won't learn anything without entering. At least the Solomonic ointment worked, and thankfully, the Zambul's other items are still helping us. Without them, we'd be incomplete. Eric, if our time is up, no power can save us from death in this enchantment, Stella said. But if fate wills us to live, no matter how dangerous these trials are, they won't harm us. In the underworld's fiery enchantments, the Zambul's magical items failed us at times. So instead of delaying, let's enter the enchantment now and face whatever comes. Eric looked at her with admiration and nodded, smiling. Steeling themselves, they entered the dark doorway. As soon as they stepped inside, the door sealed shut behind them. You have entered the Crimson Enchantment. A gruesome death is now your fate. A booming voice echoed, then fell silent. Open your eyes, my lord, Queen Miraj's voice called to King of Arias. He opened his eyes, startled. Miraj, where are we? What mountain passes this? He asked, scanning the rocky terrain. According to the sacred Black Book, this mountain holds the entrances to both parts of the Sevenfold Enchantment, Queen Miraj said, studying the pass. We must enter either the Black Enchantment or the Crimson Enchantment. Cross 7 trials to reach the treasure cave, and then face 7 more to escape. You're right, Miraj, King of Arias said, smiling. We must destroy one part's enchantments, and then fight Eric in the treasure chamber to claim the riches and the crimson diamond. I believe it will happen that way, Queen Miraj agreed. We must enter the enchantment immediately to beat Eric and his wife to the treasure and diamond. No matter how terrifying the trials, Eric has destroyed countless formidable enchantments. We can't let him stop us, and moved forward through the rocky terrain, searching for the entrance. We'll need to use magic here, Queen Miraj said, chanting a spell. A dark dwarf appeared before them. You stand before the black enchantment of the Sevenfold Enchantment, the dwarf said, looking at them. Prince of the dark dwarves of the underworld, I summoned you to tell us where the black enchantment begins, Queen Miraj asked. You've helped my people many times, so I'll aid you, the dwarf replied. You'd never find it otherwise, as the black enchantment is hidden, visible yet unseen. To reveal it, you and King of Arias must prick your middle fingers. Let drops of blood fall into the pass, and the black enchantment will open before you. This is getting dangerous, King of Arias said with a worried tone, addressing the dark dwarf. In our last underworld quest, we had to offer our blood as a sacrifice at every turn. Is this quest just as grueling and terrifying? Queen Miraj also looked at the dwarf with concern. These are hidden enchantments, the dwarf explained. But my knowledge tells me you won't need to offer blood sacrifices at every step as you did before. Still, the trials of both the crimson and black parts of the Sevenfold Enchantment will be highly complex. Relieved that they wouldn't need to offer blood repeatedly, King of Arias and Queen Miraj felt a sense of reassurance. Thank you for guiding us, Queen Miraj said gratefully. We must enter the black enchantment now, lest we delay and our enemies beat us to the treasure cave in the Crimson Enchantment, claiming the crimson diamond and rare riches. The dark dwarf smiled and vanished. Using magic, the couple conjured daggers and pricked their middle fingers, wincing in pain but enduring it. They let drops of blood fall onto the mountain pass. On the 7th drop, a cave suddenly appeared before them, shrouded in pitch-black darkness. Ignoring the gloom, they stepped inside, and the cave sealed shut behind them. Ha ha! The sorcerer-king of Arias and his queen Miraj have entered the jaws of death. A painful demise awaits them, a voice echoed, then fell silent. Meanwhile, the darkness inside the Crimson Enchantment was overwhelming. Eric Hunter retrieved the night glow diamond from his Zembil. Eric, it's so dark here. Moving forward would have been impossible, but your unique diamond's radiant light has illuminated everything, Princess Stella Moon said, delighted by the glow. Yes, Stella, Eric replied, smiling. This night glow diamond's specialty is that it lights up any place, whether ordinary or enchanted, with brilliant radiance. But Eric, this chamber seems endless, Stella said, surveying their surroundings. My love, this is the world of enchantments, Eric explained. The Sevenfold Enchantment's crimson trials will present us with all sorts of strange sights. Stella nodded, and they pressed forward, searching for a way to break the enchantment. Despite their efforts, they found nothing, and Eric's face fell, frustration evident. Stella, this enchantment is so perplexing. I can't figure out its secret. I don't want to rely on the Zambil's magical items yet, as using them too early often means they fail in later trials. You're speaking from experience, Stella said, voicing a concern. But what if this enchantment has a time limit? If we miss it, we could die needlessly. Eric looked at her, startled. You're right, my love. This is too confusing. We'll have to use the Solomonic ointment again. He retrieved it from the Zambil, applied it to his eyes, and then to Stella's. They moved forward, but the seemingly empty enchantment revealed nothing. After wandering aimlessly, both grew exhausted, their time slipping away with no clue of when the enchantment might overpower them. Eric grew serious. Though he didn't want to use the Zambil's items yet, it seemed they couldn't progress without them. Stella, exhausted, sat on the floor. Eric joined her, then pulled a mat from the Zambil and spread it out. He began taking out fruits and food, making Stella's mouth water. Wow, Eric, my husband carries a whole world in his Zambil and knows exactly when to use it, she said, smiling. Eric chuckled, popping a fruit into his mouth. I keep pulling things out as needed. Stella eagerly joined in, and they devoured the food. The meal restored their energy, but sleepiness soon overtook them. Eric, I'm so tired. I need to rest, Stella said, yawning and stretching before lying down on the mat and falling asleep. Eric smiled at her, then covered her with a magical blanket from the Zambil, given to him by a fairy in a previous quest. It protected its wearer from enchantments, so he felt confident leaving Stella to rest. He moved forward to find the enchantment's key, unsure of its nature. Master, wandering aimlessly won't help you find the enchantment's solution. What's wrong with you? The Zambil's guardian dwarf's voice echoed. Eric started. Then what should I do? I can't see any way to break this enchantment. My mind is exhausted. Who told you to wander with your head held high? The dwarf said, amused. The solution is close, but for some reason, you can't see it. Where is it? I don't see anything, Eric exclaimed, frustrated. Go near those walls and look closely. You'll see dark walls, and only light can break this enchantment, the dwarf advised. Eric stared at the black walls in confusion. I don't understand. What are you saying? I'm sorry, Master, but I can't explain further, or the later trials will become far more terrifying. Use your wits and wake the mistress. Together you might find the solution, a dwarf said. But Stella is exhausted. How can I wake her? Eric asked, worried. You must, Master. Time is running out. And don't worry, though the mistress has a fiery temper, in the world of enchantments, it turns into brilliance. She might offer a clever solution, the dwarf reassured. Eric agreed and removed the blanket, waking Stella. What happened, Eric? Is the enchantment broken? She asked, rubbing her eyes. Not yet, Eric replied. The guardian dwarf said the solution lies in these dark walls, and only light can destroy this enchantment. Time is short. Stella stood, determined. Let's see what secret these walls hold. Eric packed the mat, and they approached a dark wall, examining it closely. Despite the night glow diamond's light, they saw nothing. What kind of mystery is this? Eric said, exasperated, leaning against the wall. As he touched it, he yelped, feeling as if it burned him. The night glow diamond slipped from his hand, striking the wall, and a crack appeared. "Eric, look, the diamond hit the wall, and it cracked!" Stella exclaimed. Forgetting his pain, Eric inspected the crack. "It was an accident, Stella. The diamond fell and touched the wall. Now I understand why the dwarf said only light can break this darkness." "Hurry, Eric, before the enchantment recovers and overpowers us," Stella urged. Eric nodded, pressing the night glow diamond against the wall. The dark wall shattered, as if struck by a heavy hammer. He touched the diamond to other parts of the wall, creating more cracks until a massive gap formed. With a loud explosion, the wall collapsed, and the night glow diamond flew back into the Zambil. Darkness enveloped him again. Aha! Eric used the night glow diamond to strike the dark wall, revealing its weakness. "The first trial of the Crimson Sevenfold Enchantment is destroyed," a booming voice declared. The darkness lifted, but Eric and Stella gasped. The scene had changed completely. "Well done, Miraj," King of Arias said, smiling at the torch in Queen Miraj's hand. Lighting the torch of Khalat was a brilliant move. "My lord, this torch will guide us through this darkness," Queen Miraj said. "You should conjure one too." King of Arias chanted a spell, conjuring a torch like hers. "Let's move forward to find the first trial's solution," Queen Miraj said. "Wait, let me perform a spell to reveal the trial's key," King of Arias replied, smiling. "Beware, master," a squeaky voice interrupted, from a black squirrel perched on his shoulder. "This is the enchantment's beginning. Avoid using magic in the first trial, or the later ones will become harder." Unctuation, King of Arias and Queen Miraj started. "What do you mean I can't use magic?" King of Arias asked the squirrel. "Be glad, master," the squirrel said. "My knowledge tells me you can use magic later, but not now. Using it early could make later trials fail." King of Arias nodded. "She's right," Queen Miraj agreed. "Using magic at the start can complicate things." "If I can't use magic, what if Miraj does?" King of Arias asked the squirrel. "It's obvious, master. You both entered together with the same goal, the treasure and diamond. The Sevenfold Enchantment's rules apply to both the black and crimson parts. 2 pairs can enter these trials, and my knowledge confirms that Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon have already entered the Crimson Enchantment, working to destroy its trials." King of Arias and Queen Miraj were shocked. "We knew that devil would come here with his wife," King of Arias said, grimacing. Queen Miraj's face soured. It's as she'd swallowed a bitter pill. "Let's find the trial's solution without magic before that devil reaches the treasure cave," King of Arias said urgently. Their torches burned brightly, illuminating the dark cave, filled with spider webs that annoyed them. They burned the webs with their torches, pressing forward, desperate to beat Eric and Stella to the treasure. But the faster they moved, the more delayed they felt, finding no clue to the enchantment solution. "This is an empty cave. All we see are spider webs," King of Arias complained. Queen Miraj grimaced in frustration. "My lord, if you wish, I can summon the dark dwarves with a spell. They could tell us how to break this trial," King of Arias suggested, looking at her. "No, my lord," Queen Miraj replied, shaking her head. "I acknowledge your immense magical power and the many forces at your command. But we must heed the Black Squirrel's advice. The Mirror of Samri specifically instructed us to follow the squirrel's guidance. Though it serves us, the squirrel has been granted dark powers by the Samli. We must obey, or we risk great harm." "Then tell me, Miraj, what should we do?" King of Arias said, taking a deep breath, feeling incomplete without his magic. "Without it, we still haven't figured out this trial's solution. Suggest something." "Let's move a bit further," Queen Miraj said, reassuring him. "The solution might be just ahead." King of Arias nodded with a grunt and followed her. A cave was filled with spider webs, which they burned with their torches as they advanced. But the deeper they went, the thicker the webs became, hindering their progress. They kept burning the webs with their torches' flames. But suddenly, the dense webs got into their mouths. Ugh! Ugh! They spat onto the cave's slick floor, trying to clear the webs that had lodged in their throats. As they did, they collided and fell. Their torches brushed against each other's clothes, setting them ablaze. Screaming, they rolled on the ground to extinguish the flames. Aha! The first trial of the Black Sevenfold Enchantment is destroyed. A booming voice declared. Its solution was to spit on the floor, set your clothes alight, and roll on the ground. Queen Miraj found and broke the enchantment. Their torches had gone out, plunging the cave into darkness. Then light returned. Miraj, what a coincidence, King of Arias said, catching his breath. The webs got in our mouths, making us spit. Then our torches accidentally set our clothes on fire, and we rolled to put it out. Without that mishap, we'd never have broken this fearsome enchantment. Luck saved us and revealed the trial's solution. Queen Miraj nodded in agreement. Suddenly, darkness enveloped them again, and when it listed, they were stunned to find themselves in a completely different environment. Meanwhile, Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon found themselves in a jungle, bewildered. Eric, where are we? How did we get from that mysterious chamber to here? Stella asked, looking at him in shock. My love, we're deep in the enigmatic world of enchantments, Eric explained. Anything can happen here. In the crimson stage of the Sevenfold Enchantment, I leaned against a dark wall, and the night-glow diamond slipped from my hand, striking it. That was the key to breaking the first trial. Otherwise, we'd still be banging our heads against it. Whatever the case, Eric, we've entered these mysterious and powerful enchantments willingly, Stella said. There's no turning back. We must move forward and destroy the remaining trials, or we'll stand here talking, miss the window to break them, and fall victim to their power. You're right, my love, Eric said, his tone serious. We're wasting time. Let's find the next trial's solution. Stella nodded, and they ventured deeper into the jungle. Though dense, a path wove through the trees, guiding them forward, as if leading to the enchantment. Where are you going, Master? Planning to nap while strolling so carelessly? The mistress may lack experience, but what's wrong with you? The Zambil's guardian dwarf's sharp voice interrupted. What do you mean? We're searching for the enchantment's secret, Eric exclaimed, startled. Why mention death? The dwarf emerged from the Zambil, staring at them. Master, death's gates lie ahead, hidden from sight. If you'd applied Princess Seraphina's green ointment, you'd see them clearly. But you're wandering like you're in a garden, not an enchanted realm. I don't have her green ointment, Eric said, surprised. Stella grew anxious, but the dwarf continued. Master, I know you don't have it, but the mistress does. Princess Seraphina and Prince Arsing-Dev gave her magical items, including the green ointment. You can retrieve it from her satchel. Why the sour face? Eric asked, noticing the dwarf's expression. Master, I'm the Zambil's guardian dwarf. It's my duty to protect you and the mistress in these enchantments. You should have consulted me, the talking doll, or the Solomonic tablet before rushing in. If I hadn't warned you, you might have crossed a death gate, and no one could have saved you from a gruesome end, the dwarf said, still grimacing. All right, dwarf, I messed up this time, Eric admitted. I've destroyed countless enchantments, but I keep making mistakes here. He turned to Stella, asking her to open her satchel, containing gifts from Princess Seraphina and Prince Arsing-Dev. Stella reached in, picturing the green ointment. A small container with a stick appeared in her hand. Eric took it, dipped the stick into the ointment, and applied the green substance to his eyes. Then Stella's. I still can't see anything, Eric said, puzzled. You need to blink 7 times, the dwarf's voice advised. Some enchantments require blinking after applying magical ointment. They blinked 7 times, and a few steps ahead, 3 gates appeared in the jungle. They gasped in fear and awe, as the gates were invisible before. The first gate blazed with fierce flames, the second crawled with countless snakes and scorpions, and the third swarmed with endless rats from an unknown source. The sight chilled their souls. "Eric, we were walking blindly," Stella said, trembling. "If we'd gone further, we'd have entered one of these death gates and died instantly." "That's the guardian dwarf's brilliance," Eric said, eyeing the gates. "It's helped me in countless enchantments." "Let's turn back," Stella urged, grabbing his hand. "These aren't solutions, they're death traps. We need to find the next trial's key elsewhere." They retreated and headed south, finding themselves in a barren plain instead of the jungle. "This enchanted world is bizarre, with scenes changing every moment," Stella said, marveling at the plain. "We should call the dwarf again," Eric said, startled. "It can guide us." He summoned the guardian dwarf, who appeared. "Why call me now, master? You're so cunning, yet you need me?" the dwarf teased, grinning mischievously. "You're getting cheeky, dwarf. One day you'll get a thrashing," Eric said, smiling back. "Fine. Why did you summon me?" the dwarf asked seriously. "Tell us the key to disenchantment and where to find it," Eric said. "I can tell you the key, but I'm not allowed to explain how to break it," the dwarf replied. "You must use your wits. Ahead in this plain, you'll find 21 glass jars with your images, all identical. You must shatter 20 with your swords, but one holds the enchantment's solution. If you break the death jar by mistake, its rules will kill you instantly, as it bears your images. Choose carefully, or one of you will perish." "How do we know which 20 jars to break, and which is the death jar?" Stella asked, worried. "I don't know, mistress," the dwarf said. "You must figure it out with your skills." Their faces fell. "What do we do, Eric? We're in deep trouble," Stella said, grimacing. "Don't worry, my love," Eric reassured her. "If we panic now, we'll gain nothing. If we miss the time limit, the enchantment will kill us." "You're right, Eric. We've delayed enough. Let's find the jars," Stella said, summoning her courage. They hurried forward and soon spotted 21 glass jars, each bearing identical images of them with no apparent differences. "These jars are bizarre," Eric said, studying them. "We can't tell them apart. If we break the death jar by mistake, we'll die instantly," Stella said, her voice trembling. "We're in a real mess, my love," Eric said, grimacing. "We came for rare treasures and the crimson diamond, but this quest is proving too tough." He pulled 2 swords from the zambil, handing one to Stella. They examined the jars closely. "Eric, look!" Stella exclaimed. "In one jar our shoes are black, but we're wearing red shoes. The other jars show red shoes." Eric, stunned, checked the jar and confirmed the black shoes, while the others showed red. "Well done, my love," he said, amazed at her sharp observation. "You found the hidden key by noticing our shoes, despite your habit of smacking me with them." "Let's have one smack on your head then," Stella teased, grinning. No, I'm not fond of head smacks," Eric said, feigning panic but smiling. "All right, let's carefully break all but that jar," Stella said. Eric nodded, and they struck the jars with their swords, sparing the one with black shoes. As the 20 jars shattered, darkness fell. "Aha! Eric and his wife have destroyed the enchantment," a booming voice declared. "Had they broken the death jar, they'd have perished." Their wit prevailed. Light returned, revealing a transformed scene. King of Arias and Queen Miraj found themselves in a vast, desolate desert, where towering sand dunes mocked them as far as the eye could see. "My lord, where are we?" Queen Miraj asked, bewildered. "It looks like a desert, my love," King of Arias replied, glancing at her. "But since this is the terrifying world of enchantments, anything can happen at any moment." "You're right," Queen Miraj agreed, nodding. "We must tread carefully in this realm, or a single misstep could make these enchantments overwhelm us." Let's move forward and find the key to the second trial, King of Arias said urgently. We need to hurry. Our enemies have entered the Crimson Stage. If they reach the treasure cave first, that miser Eric Hunter and his wife will leave nothing behind, not even a single coin. Queen Miraj smiled. Why are you smiling when I'm worried? King of Arias asked, surprised. My lord, you're fretting already, she said, reassuring him. Yes, Eric and his wife have countless magical items, but this enchantment is no child's play. It'll take them time, and I'm certain we'll reach the treasure cave first. But Miraj, it's not guaranteed, King of Arias said, his voice tinged with concern. Eric is cunning, and though his wife has a fiery temper, her mind sharpens in the world of enchantments. She might help him, and they could beat us to the treasure chamber. Queen Miraj laughed instead of smiling. You're laughing while I'm worried, King of Arias said, glaring at her. My lord, you're acting as if we're already at the treasure cave, and they's beaten us to it, she replied. You should know these enchantments are powerful and dangerous. If we make a mistake, we'll be dead before we reach the cave. Let's focus on breaking these trials instead of worrying about them. A single lapse could be our downfall. You're right, my love, King of Arias admitted, nodding. Those two devils are clouding my mind. I need to focus on destroying these enchantments. Then let's move forward and find the trial's key in this desert, Queen Miraj said, smiling again. King of Arias nodded with a grin, and they ventured deeper into the desert to uncover the second trial's solution. They searched among the dunes, but saw nothing but endless sand. We're fools, my love, wandering like madmen. King of Arias said, slapping his forehead. Let me summon the Samri carpet to travel this desert. He chanted a spell, and a black carpet appeared. They climbed aboard, and it lifted slightly above the sand, carrying them forward. They scanned the desert, but saw only dunes. This won't work, Queen Miraj said. We could wander this cursed desert forever and find nothing. I need to do something else. Before King of Arias could respond, the carpet flipped upside down, its head downward and feet upward, as Queen Miraj chanted a powerful spell. My love, are you reciting the carpet of Samri's spell? He asked, watching her. Moments later, Queen Miraj righted herself, and the carpet soared higher. A white dwarf with large eyes appeared, its fur gleaming. What are you doing in the deathly desert of the Sevenfold Enchantment, King of Arias and Queen Miraj? It asked, staring in surprise. Guardian dwarf of the Samri deity, we summoned you in great need, Queen Miraj said, her eyes pleading. We're searching for this trial's key, but despite traveling on the carpet, we found nothing in this terrifying desert. Can we use our dark powers here? You didn't consult the spirit of the Samri sorcerer before this quest, the white dwarf replied. But no matter, you're the king and queen of sorcerers. You can navigate these enchantments as you wish. It's good you haven't used your dark powers here, or this desert's trial would have grown far more dangerous. This stage requires wit and careful magic. Tell us the trial's key, King of Arias demanded. Since you haven't used your dark powers, I'll guide you, the dwarf said. Take the carpet south. After an arc, you'll see a black stripe in the desert with multicolored dunes. Travel across these 5 dunes, green, red, yellow, blue, and black, without changing their colors. If a dune's color changes because of you, you'll both die. How could traveling across them change their colors? King of Arias asked, baffled. I can't explain further, the dwarf replied. Use your wits to find the solution. You may use magic here, but not your dark powers, or this desert will become deadly. Before they could ask more, the dwarf vanished. That white dwarf left us in a mess, King of Arias exclaimed. He told us what he could and guided us, Queen Miraj said. Let's move south, find the black stripe, and decide how to break this strange trial. King of Arias sighed and nodded. The carpet carried them south, and soon a black stripe appeared in the desert. They signaled the carpet to descend, and as they stepped off, it vanished. They approached the stripe. "Look, my love, beyond it is a green dune," King of Arias said, worried. "How do we cross it?" "I see it," Queen Miraj replied. "The stripe leads to a green dune. We must cross it carefully, then face the next colored dune. We're in deep trouble, my lord. We wanted to beat Eric and his wife to the treasure cave, but my mind is failing me. I don't have Eric's cunning to solve such puzzles," King of Arias said, smiling wryly. "Why worry, my lord? You have me, who's 2 steps ahead of Eric in cunning," Queen Miraj said, leaping with joy. "Have you found the trial's key?" King of Arias asked, startled. "Yes," she replied, smiling. "The white dwarf said we can use magic with wit to break this fearsome trial. We'll change our clothes and appearance to match each dune's color. Green, then red, yellow, blue, and black. That way the dune's colors won't change." King of Arias jumped with joy. "My queen, I realize now I didn't marry an ordinary woman. You're truly brilliant, solving every challenge," he said, praising her. Her face lit up with a smile. "No more delays. Let's take on the green form," King of Arias urged. They chanted a spell, and with a puff of air, their clothes and bodies turned green, blending with the dune. They stepped onto it, feeling a jolt but unharmed, and moved forward. A red dune appeared next, and they turned red, crossing it, just as the green dune behind them burst into flames. They repeated this for the yellow, blue, and black dunes, each burning as they crossed the next. As they stepped off the final black dune, darkness fell, and eerie wails echoed through the air. Aha! King of Arias and Queen Miraj used their wits to destroy the second stage of the Black Enchantment, a booming voice declared. Light returned, revealing a completely changed scene. Meanwhile, Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon found themselves in a mountainous region. "What's this fog-like place?" "One moment a plain, now rugged mountains," Eric said, grimacing. "This is the world of enchantments, Eric," Stella replied. "Instead of worrying, learn to face it." Eric grinned. "Your mind sharpens in this realm, my love. I've always been sharp, squeezing everything from the world's stingiest husband," Stella teased. "You're the one who bankrupts a pauper like me," Eric shot back with mock despair. "Your hammer-like hands wring out my last penny, forcing me to surrender my earnings. Your wife oppresses the world's poorest man," Stella said, laughing mockingly. Eric nodded, playing along with a pitiful expression. "All right, let's move on," Stella said seriously. "We need to find the third trial's key." Eric grew serious. "We'll have to search these mountains," he said, grimacing at the rugged terrain. They trekked forward, struggling over uneven, rocky ground. "When will these trials end? I'm dying to see the treasure cave. It's been ages since I saw riches," Eric said, eyeing the towering peaks. "My husband, the eternal pauper, owes the world," Stella teased, mocking him as they climbed. "Exactly. That's why you shouldn't take any treasure," Eric replied, feigning misery. "Your debtor husband needs it all." "You owe countless people, so I'll take half the treasure," Stella declared with a grin. "And if a single coin is missing, I'll wreak havoc at home." "Half the treasure? You're trying to kill me," Eric exclaimed, clutching his chest dramatically. "My heart's sinking already." "I've got a cure for your sinking heart," Stella said with a sly smile, slipping off her sandal. "Why are you taking that off?" Eric asked, trembling with mock fear. "Just to fix your faltering mind and sinking heart in this enchanted world," she said, dead serious. "My sandal holds the cure for all your ailments." No, I'm perfectly fine," Eric panicked. His heart was sinking for real now, knowing Stella was set on claiming half the treasure, while he wasn't ready to part with a single coin. Suddenly, a sharp voice rang out. "Stop wasting time with chatter." Princess Serafina's voice echoed through the mountains. "You're running out of time to break these trials." "How are we wasting time? We're climbing and searching for the trial's key. Eric shouted back, spinning around, but saw no one. Where are you, Seraphina? Tell us the trial's key and where to find it, Stella demanded, her voice rising in the mist. I'm outside these enchantments, Seraphina's voice replied. Don't worry, my betrothed, Prince Arsing Dev, and I will guide you when you're in trouble. Walk 70 steps north and you'll see 7 caves. 6 are death traps and 1 leads to the next trial. Choose the life cave carefully, or even the Zambil's magical items and those we gave Stella won't work in the death caves. How will we know which cave is the life cave when 6 of the 7 are death traps? Eric Hunter asked, startled, addressing Princess Seraphina's voice. But no reply came. Perhaps Seraphina had shared all she could. This sevenfold enchantment is incredibly complex, Eric said, sighing heavily. I thought we'd easily overcome these trials and reach the treasure cave before King of Arias and his cunning wife, Queen Miraj. But these intricate enchantments are delaying us. Eric, this is only the 3rd trial, Princess Stella Moon said, her voice tinged with worry after hearing Seraphina's warning. 4 more remain. We can't afford to dawdle. We must reach the caves, find the life cave, and avoid the death traps. You're right, my love, Eric agreed. This is the world of enchantments. If we delay, we could become prisoners of these trials and die needlessly. They turned north, counting their steps as they advanced. After exactly 70 steps, they reached a barren mountain where 7 caves loomed. Approaching cautiously, they peered inside, but saw only darkness. Eric, these caves look identical, Stella said, distressed. There's not the slightest difference. We're truly stuck this time. Why worry, my love? Eric said, suddenly brightening with an idea. You always say I'm the cunning trickster's husband. With me here, you've got nothing to fear. Have you figured out a way to find the life cave in this tangled trial? Stella asked, turning to him. Yes, my love, Eric said, grinning. I've thought of a way to identify the life cave. Then hurry and find it so we can move to the next trial, Stella urged. We can't keep delaying or we'll be trapped and fall prey to the enchantment. Eric smiled and commanded his doppelganger puppet to emerge from the Zambil. A perfect replica of himself stepped out, startling Stella. Eric, if you hadn't summoned it, I'd think there were 2 of you, she said, laughing. Eric flashed a toothy grin. My doppelganger. Enter the first cave and return immediately, he ordered. The puppet nodded and entered. Instantly, flames erupted inside, and the puppet emerged, its form scorched. Eric sent it into the second cave, and again, fire flared, leaving the puppet further burned. He tried the 4th cave, but the same happened. Flames roared as the puppet entered. As the puppet emerged from the 4th cave, it vanished into the ground without Eric's command. What's this? Eric exclaimed, shocked. Master, I sent your doppelganger into the ground, the Zambil's guardian dwarf said, appearing suddenly. Why would you do that? Eric asked, staring at the dwarf. Forgive me for acting without your order, the dwarf replied. Your puppet was so badly burned after the 4th cave that if it entered another death cave, it would have been destroyed. If that happened, all the Zambil's magical items, including me, would vanish. Eric's face fell. Then how do I check the remaining caves? Seraphina said entering a death cave by mistake would kill us instantly. Master, you can use the magical items in the mistress's satchel, the dwarf advised. Since your puppet is too damaged, relying on the Zambil's items now means they won't work in later trials, per the enchantment's rules. Eric nodded. All right, dwarf, we'll think of something else. Stella suddenly perked up. I remember! Prince Arsing Dev gave me a white orb and said it could be used 3 times, in dire situations. She reached into her satchel and pulled out a white orb. White orb, guide us to the life cave among these 3, she commanded. The orb rolled into the fifth cave, but a loud explosion followed, and it turned red as flames erupted. It emerged, reverting to white. Stella sent it into the sixth cave. This time, no flames appeared, and the orb's color remained white. Their eyes lit up. "I think this is the life cave," Eric said, excited. "It seems so. But let's test the orb one last time to be sure," Stella cautioned. "We can't risk being deceived." Eric nodded. Stella sent the orb into the seventh cave. Flames roared, and the orb burned to ash. "That settles it. The sixth cave is the life cave," Eric and Stella exclaimed, thrilled. Fearlessly, they entered the sixth cave. Wails echoed in the distance. "Aha! Eric and Stella have destroyed the third stage of the Crimson Sevenfold Enchantment," a booming voice declared. Darkness enveloped them, and when it lifted, the scene had changed, and they found themselves in a new place. But wait, this is not the end, just the beginning of another trial. The next episode is coming soon. Stay tuned. The real secrets are yet to be revealed. King of Arias and Queen Miraj now found themselves in a vast plain, not the desert, stretching endlessly as far as the eye could see. "This plain is immense, with nothing in sight," Queen Miraj said, gazing in awe. "My love, we've returned to the mysterious world of enchantments after a long time," King of Arias replied. "Our enemy navigates such trials constantly, mastering even the most terrifying ones. We've destroyed countless enchantments, alone and together. But something's changed. Why are we struggling now? Ever since you became the king of sorcerers and I the queen, we haven't faced any enchantments," Queen Miraj said with concern. "In our last quest to the underworld's depths, we were forced to act due to mortal danger. Truth be told, our enemy and his wife were there too, and their help saved us. Otherwise, we'd have perished." King of Arias nodded, acknowledging his lapse. "I realize now that in enchantment quests, it's not just raw power, but experience with potent magic that matters. We're powerful sorcerers, but since we haven't faced trials in so long, the Sevenfold Enchantment's challenges are proving difficult. As king and queen, we've grown complacent, relying on our mighty sorcerers to conquer trials and bring us treasures," Queen Miraj said with a wry smile. "Despite our power, our skills are rusting." "You're right," King of Arias agreed, grinning. "We must face these trials regularly to keep our skills sharp, like our enemy, Eric Hunter. By destroying enchantments, we'll gain vast treasures and rediscover the thrill of conquest. As we did before becoming king and queen, we've grown too comfortable." "Not just comfortable, lazy," Queen Miraj laughed. "If our enemy sat idly, he'd call himself a coward, not daring to face trials. Despite our power, we're struggling because we've been idle for so long." King of Arias chuckled. "So, the lazy king and his lazy queen have willingly ventured into this enchanted quest after ages. From now on, whenever I hear of an enchanted quest, I'll join it myself, instead of sending our sorcerers," Queen Miraj declared. "You should do the same, my lord. If a quest is too dangerous, we'll tackle it together, as husband and wife." King of Arias nodded in agreement. "But for now, we must find the key to the third stage of the Black Sevenfold Enchantment," he said, sighing as if regretting their inexperience. Indeed, as a young sorcerer, he had conquered countless trials. But as king, he had grown idle. Queen Miraj, too, had fearlessly defeated powerful enemies and enchantments in her youth. But after marrying King of Arias, she had drifted from such quests. By chance, she had decided to pursue the Crimson Diamond herself, instead of sending a sorcerer. But now, in the enchanted world, they both realized how complacent they'd become, silently reproaching themselves. "Let's move forward," Queen Miraj suggested. Perhaps the key to this third stage lies ahead. If not, you'll need to use your magic. King of Arias nodded, and they advanced across the vast plain. Suddenly, a voice interrupted. King of Arias and Queen Miraj, what's happened to you? Are you walking straight into death's jaws? Have your wits abandoned you? If you'd chanted the Ashoka spell upon entering this trial, a protective aura would have shielded you, and you'd have passed easily. Your foolishness has made this trial far more dangerous. Now, you must chant the Ashoka spell. I'm here on the Jamshid deity's orders to guide you. Had I delayed a moment, you'd have burned in a deadly fire where your magic would be useless. You've truly become utterly lazy, making blunders, despite being the king and queen of sorcerers. The voice belonged to the Black Dwarf, who had guided them before entering the trial. What blunder have we made? Queen Miraj asked, scanning the plain in surprise, unable to see the dwarf but hearing its voice. Don't try to find me, the dwarf said. I'm outside the trial, watching you through the Jamshid mirror. You've entered the third stage of the Black Sevenfold Enchantment, and I see its hidden, terrifying secrets. I'm mourning your lack of sense. What must we do to see this hidden, deadly fire? King of Arias asked. I told you. Chant the Ashoka spell, and the hidden fire will appear, the dwarf replied. My time to leave has come. Had you chanted it upon entering, you wouldn't be in this mess. Now the trial is stronger, and you can't escape without breaking its power. What's the secret to breaking this trial? Queen Miraj asked, swallowing hard in fear, realizing their grave mistake had made the trial more perilous. Chant the Ashoka spell, and the hidden fire will appear. The dwarf's voice echoed. Avoid it and move 21 steps east. Then, chant the Barish spell and lie on the ground. 6 birds will pass you, swift as arrows from a bow. You must catch at least one of the 3 birds in a single attempt. If you succeed, you'll survive. If not, a painful death awaits. You said 6 birds, but now you mention 3? King of Arias asked, confused. Silence followed, as if the dwarf had departed. My lord, 3 birds will pass me, and 3 will pass you, since there are 2 of us, Queen Miraj explained. King of Arias nodded in understanding. They began chanting a powerful spell, standing on their heads. After 7 chants, they righted themselves. As they did, terrified screams escaped them. A few steps ahead, a fierce fire blazed in a massive pit, now visible. Had they taken a few more steps, they would have fallen into the unseen, raging flames and burned to ash in moments. They quickly retreated. We were so foolish to forget the Ashoka spell, Queen Miraj said. It made this trial far stronger. We've grown too complacent since becoming king and queen. King of Arias said, cursing himself. We nearly fell prey to this trial. They lay on the ground, watching for the 6 birds, whose speed would rival arrows. They had to catch at least one, or the trial would claim them. This trial is more dangerous than the last, Queen Miraj said, lying beside King of Arias. We're not using our magic correctly, which is why these trials feel so confusing. We can't take them lightly. You're right, King of Arias agreed. This is the world of enchantments. Suddenly, a whooshing sound startled them. 2 black birds shot toward them like arrows, passing close to their heads. One flew over King of Arias, the other over Queen Miraj. My love, those enchanted birds were so fast, like arrows shot from a bow. King of Arias said, trembling. If the remaining 4 birds pass with such speed, we're doomed, Queen Miraj said, panicked. No one can save the great king and queen of sorcerers from a gruesome death. Another whoosh alerted them. They braced themselves, watching carefully. But the next 2 birds were even faster, streaking over their heads before they could raise their hands. My lord, if we fail to catch a bird on the 3rd try, A terrifying fire will engulf us, burning us to ash in an instant. The sharp voice of the Samri's white squirrel warned from King of Arias's shoulder. Stay focused and use your wits to catch the birds, or you'll both face a painful death. How can we catch birds moving like arrows? We're at a loss, King of Arias said, terrified, addressing the squirrel. The squirrel remained silent, as if it had said all it was permitted. My lord, we're doomed. Our time is up, Queen Miraj said, tears streaming down her face as she imagined their horrific fate. Do something, or we'll die. King of Arias, lost in thought, snapped to attention as another whoosh signaled 2 more birds speeding toward them. Quick, my love, chant the cock-a-deity spell, King of Arias shouted. He began reciting a spell rapidly. Hearing him, Queen Miraj snapped out of her distress, stopped crying, and joined him in chanting the same spell. Just before the lightning-fast birds reached them, they completed the incantation and blew toward the approaching birds. Instantly, the birds, which were nearly upon them, slowed dramatically, moving as sluggishly as a tortoise. The cock-a-deity spell had the power to slow anything, enchanted object or weapon, rushing toward them. This time, it worked perfectly. King of Arias had remembered the spell just in time. Had the birds passed over their heads at such speed, the plane would have erupted in blazing fire, leading to their agonizing deaths. We did it, Queen Miraj exclaimed, grabbing a bird as she rose from the ground. King of Arias held one too, leaping up with joy. We won, my love, he shouted, thrilled. Their foresight in chanting the cock-a-deity's spell, with Queen Miraj following his lead, had saved them. As they stood, the birds vanished from their hands. Darkness fell, and wails echoed. Aha! King of Arias and Queen Miraj have destroyed the 3rd stage of the Black Sevenfold Enchantment. A booming voice declared. The darkness lifted, revealing a changed scene. Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon stood, bewildered, staring at the new landscape. What's this place? The scenes keep changing, Stella said, gazing in surprise. My love, that's the nature of enchantments, Eric explained. Places and scenes shift constantly, and anything can happen at any moment. They found themselves among tall mounds, not of sand, but of clay. This is a strange place, Stella said, eyeing the uneven clay mounds. We're standing among high and low clay mounds instead of sandy dunes. Let's move forward, my love, Eric said, puffing out his chest. These minor trials are nothing for your husband. Stella smirked. You're acting as if you've single-handedly conquered all 7 stages of the Crimson Sevenfold Enchantment, she teased, clearly enjoying the enchanted realm. My love, you always say I'm the cunning trickster's wife, Eric boasted, broadening his chest. I've faced countless, terrifying trials. Eric, 4 trials remain, and we don't know what they hold, Stella said, laughing. Instead of bragging, focus on breaking these enchantments. All right, let's move on, Eric said, still asserting his importance. You'll see how I grab this trial by the horns and teach it a lesson. Stella smiled and followed him. They began climbing a tall mound, but Stella, barely a few steps in, gasped for breath. Eric, hold my hand. I'm exhausted, she said, extending her arm. Eric grabbed her hand, trying to pull her up, but how could he lift both himself and Stella? In his attempts to impress her, he slipped, tumbling down the mound with a yelp, dragging Stella with him. You fool, what have you done? My bones are rattling, after being crushed under you. Eric groaned as Stella had landed on top of him. Are you hurt, Eric? Stella asked, getting up. My everything's been squashed, and you ask if I'm hurt? Eric groaned, still wincing. Who told you to grab my hand if you couldn't support me? Why offer help if you lack the strength? I've been supporting you all my life, Eric retorted, dusting himself off. How could I abandon you in this enchanted world? We are wasting time again, Stella said, worried. What if our enemies, King of Arias and Queen Miraj, use their powerful magic to reach the treasure cave first, loot everything, and leave us with nothing? No, my love, Eric said, confidently. I believe they won't beat us to the treasure cave. They're skilled sorcerers, but they haven't faced enchanted quests in ages. Despite knowing countless spells, they'll struggle with these trials. His reasoning wasn't wrong. Like Eric and Stella, King of Arias and Queen Miraj had rarely faced challenges in the enchanted world. The two rose and resumed climbing the mound. This time, despite her trembling legs, Stella climbed on her own. At the top, they saw fire raging below and a wooden board with 5 black marks in the distance. What's this wooden board with 5 marks? And why is fire blazing everywhere below? Eric asked, staring at the flames in concern. Stella had no answer, equally puzzled by the fire and the board's black marks. Eric addressed the golden tablet that had guided them before. Tell us, what's the secret of this trial? He asked. Words appeared on the tablet. The rule of this trial is that revisiting a place makes it dangerously potent. Because your wife climbed the mound again after falling, the trial has grown stronger. The wooden board with 5 black marks is the key. You must hit all 5 marks with arrows in one attempt. If a single arrow misses, the blazing fire may climb the mound. And in this fearsome trial, you cannot survive. Hidden arrows and daggers lurk in the fire, capable of destroying you instantly. No magical items will protect you. If you try to cross the fire with enchanted cloaks or shoes, the hidden arrows and daggers will turn toward you, and no magical item will aid you. But we didn't fall on purpose, Eric protested, distressed. I grabbed my wife's hand to support her, but I slipped and fell with her. Your fall made the trial more dangerous, the tablet responded. Had you not fallen, you could have reached the board easily and hit the 5 marks one by one, breaking the trial. Now it's far more formidable. How can we hit all 5 marks at once? Eric asked. There are only 2 of us. Even if we aim perfectly, we can only hit 2 marks. The other 3 will remain untouched. Eric's face fell as no further words appeared on the tablet, as if it had shared all it was allowed. What now, my love? We're in deep trouble, he said, grimacing. Eric Hunter tucked the golden tablet into his zamble, knowing further questions would be futile. Stella, this is all your fault. We're in deep trouble now. What did I do to deserve the blame for making this trial so dangerous? Princess Stella Moon snapped, glaring at him with surprise and anger. If you had climbed the mound properly the first time, we wouldn't be in this mess, and the trial wouldn't have become so fearsome, Eric retorted, his face sour. Oh, what a wise and brave hero, Stella mocked. You were boasting about your intelligence and bravery, claiming to have conquered countless trials. What's wrong with you now? You grabbed my hand, acting all gallant, but ended up falling off the mound yourself and dragging me down with you. All right, my love. What's done is done, Eric said, conceding defeat. He knew, if Stella got truly angry, she'd thrash him right there, trial or no trial. Let me think about how to break this trial we've made so dangerous. Let's see how brave and clever my husband really is in solving this perilous trial, Stella said, cooling down. She understood that losing her temper in the world of enchantments could turn this trial into their doom. My love, I've got it, Eric exclaimed. The hidden arrows and daggers in the blazing fire can't be seen. Stella looked at him with admiration. Now I realize, if you weren't with me on this quest, I'd have made a fatal mistake and perished in this terrifying world of enchantments, Eric said, praising her. Stella had little cunning on her own, but in these trials, she was proving a vital partner. Hearing his praise, she smiled. Now that you know we can't enter the fire, find a proper solution before the enchanted fire, with its hidden arrows and daggers, climbs the mound, Stella urged, her voice tinged with worry. If we don't act fast, we'll face a gruesome death. You were right, Eric said, startled. I'm such a fool. I have the Sevenfold Enchantment bow in my zambil, yet I'm still panicking. He reached into his zambil and pulled out a strange bow with 7 slots, designed to fire multiple arrows at once. Eric, this bow is incredible, with slots for multiple arrows, Stella said, eyeing it with concern. But the wooden board is far away, with 5 black marks. Even if you load 5 arrows, will they hit the targets accurately? My love, the Sevenfold Enchantment bow's specialty is that every arrow hits its mark precisely, Eric said, grinning. I stole this bow from a genie during a past quest. So, you'll load 5 arrows? Stella asked, still surprised. Yes, if the board had 7 marks, I'd load 7 arrows. But since there are 5, I'll use 5, Eric replied, delighted. Your zambil has a solution for every problem, Stella said, relieved. Now I see why you call yourself the cunning trickster, blazing like lightning. Eric pulled 5 arrows from his zambil and loaded them into the bow. He drew the string, but before he could release it, the zambil's guardian dwarf's sharp voice interrupted. Master, since you and the mistress are in this trial together, you must both pull the bowstring. If only you fire, the mistress will perish, and you'll face the remaining trials alone. The Sevenfold Enchantment requires a pair, a man and a woman, to break its trials. If one fails, both will die. Thank you for warning me, Eric said, feigning innocence. I'd hate for my dear wife to die, leaving me to celebrate, mourn her loss. Stella glared at him, half annoyed, half amused. Don't look at me so lovingly, my dear. I'm a heart patient, Eric teased, maintaining his innocent tone. Stella smirked. All right, my love, help me pull the bowstring so we can escape this trial, Eric said. Stella grabbed the string with him. Chanting a powerful spell, Eric aimed at the 5 black marks on the wooden board and released the string. As they let go, the 5 arrows shot through the blazing fire below, striking all 5 marks simultaneously. Darkness fell. Aha! Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon have hit all 5 marks on the enchanted board, destroying the 3rd stage of the Crimson Sevenfold Enchantment, a wailing voice declared. The darkness lifted, revealing a new scene, leaving them stunned. King of Arias and Queen Miraj found themselves in an oasis. What a beautiful place, my love, King of Arias exclaimed. Colorful flowers, sweet springs, and date trees, it's paradise. You're right, my lord, Queen Miraj said, smiling. It looks enchanting, but it's all an illusion. What do you mean? King of Arias asked, surprised. This oasis is designed to deceive us, Queen Miraj explained. Like you, I want to drink from these cool springs and eat those sweet dates, then rest in this pleasant breeze. But we mustn't. This is a trap to lure us. In this treacherous world of enchantments, indulging could lead to disaster. King of Arias nodded. You're right. I forgot how deceptive this world can be. We mustn't fall for this oasis's tricks. Let's move forward and find the trial's key, not waste time eating, drinking, or sightseeing, Queen Miraj said, firmly. Agreed, my love, King of Arias replied, smiling. Let's find the key to the 4th trial in this enchanted world. These trials are truly bizarre. You've done well to avoid eating or drinking in this deadly oasis, the white squirrel on King of Arias's shoulder praised. Had either of you consumed anything, millions of flesh-eating flies would have swarmed you, rendering your magic useless. You'd have faced a horrific death. What? Is I'd ignored my wife and eaten or drunk anything? Flesh-eating flies would have devoured us? King of Arias asked, horrified. Yes, this trial was crafted to tempt you into consuming something, triggering the flies to tear you apart, the squirrel confirmed. Why didn't you warn us earlier? King of Arias demanded, angrily. If my wife hadn't stopped me, we'd be dead by now. The squirrel fell silent, as if it had reached its limit. I admit, my love, You're far wiser than me, King of Arias said, looking at Queen Miraj with admiration. If you'd been as foolish as me, we'd be food for those flies by now. Queen Miraj smiled. Now think, my lord, what's the key to this trial? The squirrel won't speak again. What about those winged horses? King of Arias suggested. Perhaps they were sent for us. You're right, Queen Miraj agreed. They were part of the death trap. The Samri's white squirrel would have warned us before going silent. I believe these horses will lead us to the trial's key. King of Arias nodded. I'm glad this trial requires a pair. Without you, I'd be in great trouble. His praise was true. Alone, either would have perished in these strange trials, but together, they were overcoming them. Hesitant at first, they boldly mounted the winged horses. As they did, the horses soared upward, as if waiting for them. Flying through the sky, they saw the endless oasis below, but the horses sped forward. This is thrilling, Queen Miraj said, smiling. We've traveled on carpets hundreds of times, but flying on these horses in the enchanted world is exhilarating. Thanks to this flight, my wife's smiling again, King of Arias said, grinning. In the last trial, you were so worried. As they flew, Queen Miraj's smile vanished. My lord, what are those? She asked, pointing ahead. Countless black flies were swarming toward them, their buzzing growing louder as the distance closed. Turn, winged horses, or these flies will tear us apart, King of Arias shouted, but the horses didn't waver, flying straight toward the swarm. My love, these cursed horses are taking us to our doom, he cried, panicking as the gap narrowed. Don't worry, my lord, Queen Miraj said calmly. Since we avoided the oasis's trap, our spells will work. As the swarm of flies attacked, she chanted a spell. A black mist enveloped them, and the flies, attempting to attack, burned in the enchanted mist. The winged horses, unharmed, continued their flight. Brilliant, my love, King of Arias exclaimed, watching the swarm perish. You used the Shabusha spell perfectly. I panicked and forgot it. That's why I say, the trial's creator was foolish to require a pair, Queen Miraj said, laughing. You break some trials, I break others. But why hasn't the trial ended? King of Arias asked, puzzled. No darkness, no whales. The horses keep flying forward. The trial isn't over yet, Queen Miraj said, seriously. The horses carried them toward a roaring river. As the mist cleared, they saw its turbulent waters. The horses descended, landing near the riverbank. As King of Arias and Queen Miraj dismounted, the horses bolted and vanished, as if their sole purpose was to deliver them here. Now what, my love? They've left us by this river, King of Arias said, staring at the water. I think the key to this trial lies within the river, Queen Miraj speculated. You're right, King of Arias exclaimed. The Nashona spell can help us. He began chanting, stomping the ground. A terrifying old hag, Nashona, appeared. I've come to aid you in this sevenfold enchantment, Nashona said. You're my savior, and besides making me the genie queen, you've helped my people. Tell me, how can I assist you? Nashona, we've broken 2 trials, but this one persists, Queen Miraj said. Use your powers to tell us how to break it. Nashona closed her eyes, then opened them, glowing red. King and Queen, to break this trial, you must enter the raging river and find the single red fish, the key to the trial. How can we enter this ferocious river and find one red fish in its vastness? King of Arias asked, stunned. You must use your skills and powerful magic, Nashona replied. I've told you all I'm permitted. Before they could ask more, she vanished. Where did she go? Queen Miraj exclaimed. This enchanted world has strict rules, King of Arias said. Those we summon help us briefly, but we must break the trials ourselves. We've done it before, and we'll find the key with our spells. Queen Miraj nodded. I remember, she said, suddenly. The Kun deity's red spell. King of Arias smiled. You recalled the perfect spell at the perfect time. Together, they chanted the Kun deity's spell loudly. As they finished, a glass wall enveloped them like a giant bottle. Kun deity's enchanted bottle. Take us into the raging river, to the red fish, they commanded. The bottle rolled toward the river, plunging into its turbulent waters. Safe inside the enchanted bottle, they ventured into the river's depths. Safe inside the enchanted glass bottle, King of Arias and Queen Miraj calmly observed the river's creatures. The bottle moved steadily through the water, despite the river's ferocious current. They saw whales and sharks charging toward them, attempting to swallow them, but the magical glass bottle protected them, and the creatures crashed harmlessly against it. Fascinated, they watched the aquatic life with curiosity as the bottle glided forward. Suddenly, they spotted a small red shark swimming restlessly ahead. "My lord, that's the red shark we need to catch," Queen Miraj said urgently. "We must act before it escapes." "But to catch it, we'd need to end the Kun deity's spell, which would make the bottle vanish," King of Arias said, concerned. "We can't stay in this bottle forever," Queen Miraj replied, eyeing the red shark speeding away. "We must chant the trial spell to end the Kun deity's enchantment." King of Arias nodded reluctantly. As they began chanting to dispel the bottle, the red shark lunged at them, its sharp teeth tearing into their bodies. Despite the pain, they drew daggers from their garments and sliced open the shark's belly. They knew if the enchanted shark escaped, no power could save them from a gruesome death. Holding it tightly, they endured the shark's bites, until suddenly it vanished, along with the other sharks. Their pained screams echoed as the glass bottle disappeared and darkness engulfed them. "Aha!" King of Arias and Queen Miraj, despite great suffering, have destroyed the enchanted red shark and broken the fourth stage of the black sevenfold enchantment, a wailing voice declared. When the darkness lifted, they found themselves in a new place, no longer in the river, and stood in awe. "Look, Stella, what a beautiful valley!" Eric Hunter exclaimed. "Flowers everywhere, lush greenery. It feels like we've escaped the world of enchantments." "How can you be so sure we're free from the trials?" Princess Stella Moon asked, gazing at the valley in wonder. "Look at the vibrant flowers and the sweet fragrance," Eric said. "It feels like we've left the cursed world of enchantments behind." In some quests, after breaking 4 trials, the remaining ones collapse on their own. "Then where's the treasure cave?" Stella asked, worried. "What if we're celebrating too soon, and the sorcerer-king and his wretched wife reach the treasure cave first?" "You're right," Eric said, his tone shifting to concern. "If we keep celebrating, our enemies might sweep the treasure cave clean, leaving us with an empty cave mocking us." He scanned the area, as if the remaining trials had already been broken, and the treasure cave was nearby. "Eric, what are you looking for? Let's move forward. The treasure cave might be hidden in this fragrant valley," Stella suggested. Eric nodded, baring his teeth in a grin, as if convinced the cave was concealed in the valley's beauty. They ventured deeper, surrounded by colorful flowers and intoxicating scents, like a glimpse of paradise. "My love, it feels like we've reached heaven, and everything here belongs to us," Eric said. "But one thing puzzles me." "What's that?" Stella asked. "I'm a humble, virtuous, poor, orphaned, destitute man," Eric said, smirking mischievously. "That's why I've been brought straight to heaven, after escaping the trials." "But how did you get here? A woman who doesn't care for her poor husband and constantly nags him. How did she end up in heaven?" Stella laughed, slipping off her shoe. "So you think I'm a wretched woman, and you're the world's most oppressed, virtuous man? Is that it, my poor, divine husband? My love, violence in heaven is a sin," Eric said, swallowing hard as he saw her shoe. I'm proud of my virtuous wife, which is why we've both been brought to heaven together." He knew his teasing could backfire if Stella's temper flared. "Oh, my dearest, poorest, most oppressed divine husband," Stella said, waving her shoe playfully. "I was sent to heaven to serve you." "Darling, good deeds are done in heaven, like serving your divine husband," Eric stammered, his voice trembling. As he eyed her shoe, "I'll serve my husband so well, his mind will be forever enlightened in heaven," Stella said, aiming her shoe at his head. Eric ducked, just in time, or it would have struck him hard. "Stop, Eric, or you'll regret it," Stella shouted, still waving her shoe. "Tell me why you called me a sinner who only got to heaven because of you." "I was just teasing, my love," Eric said, trying to calm her. "You've become so sharp in this enchanted world, with brilliant plans. With your help, we've broken these trials." His praise was true. Stella had been crucial in overcoming the enchantments. "Wait, Eric," Stella said, startled. "We haven't died or been harmed, and we're still in the same clothes we wore to break the fourth trial. How can this be heaven? What do you mean? Are you saying this beautiful valley is part of the trial, designed to deceive us?" Eric Hunter asked, startled. "Yes, Eric, we're being fooled in a very clever way," Princess Stella Moon said seriously. "We're wasting time, arguing and chatting." Eric studied the fragrant valley closely. "My love, can such a stunning, flower-filled valley exist in the world of enchantments?" he asked, now serious, as he moved forward. Stella slipped her shoe back on and followed, observing the valley's plants, trees, and flowers with care. "You're right," Eric said, plucking a flower. "This valley is a terrifying trial." As he spoke, red blood dripped from the flower. "Eric, how is this flower bleeding?" Stella asked, horrified, staring at the blood-soaked bloom. Before Eric could respond, the moment he plucked the flower, the beautiful valley burst into flames, turning to ash. He stood stunned, holding the still fresh flower, while the valley transformed into a charred wasteland. "What have you done, Eric? This blooming valley has turned black, yet the flower in your hand remains fresh," Stella exclaimed, gazing at the now fearsome landscape. "Master, crush the flower quickly, or the sleeping witches will awaken," the sharp voice of the Zambiel's guardian dwarf warned. Eric hadn't yet discarded the bleeding flower when terrifying screams echoed around them. "Master, you held the flower instead of crushing it, but you're lucky you didn't pluck a fruit by mistake," the dwarf continued. "Had you taken a fruit from this valley, poisonous winds and deadly gases would have swept through, rotting your bodies in minutes. But since you only plucked the flower, you face a different danger." As they watched, the ashes swirled and transformed into 4 ancient, grotesque witches. One wore a red robe, another yellow, the third green, and the fourth black. Their appearances utterly terrifying. "Well, well, my 4 dear aunties have come to visit," Eric said, swallowing hard in fear, trying to mask it with humor. "After ages, we found 2 fine catches," the red-robed witch cackled. "This old man's flesh won't satisfy us, but this lovely woman's will be delicious." "This old man's flesh may be tough, but we won't spare it either," the yellow-robed witch sneered, her withered lips curling. "It's been ages since we tasted human flesh. My blood's awfully bitter," Eric protested. "Drink hers instead. Hers is fresh and tasty. It'll fill all 4 of your bellies." Stella trembled as if her doom was sealed. "No, you shriveled old man. We'll eat your dry flesh too," the green-robed witch laughed wickedly. The 4 witches advanced, baring their teeth. "Dear aunties, listen," Eric pleaded. "My blood's bitter. Take hers instead. Her flesh is far tastier." "My name isn't Auntie, it's Sharika," the red-robed witch snapped angrily. "I have a potion to fatten my body," Eric continued, undeterred. Let me take it, so I can properly entertain my esteemed guests. Fine, take your potion to fatten up, the third witch, Janaki, said, smirking. We'll feast on her while you do, then eat your fattened flesh with satisfaction. But the potion is with her, Eric said. Let me get it from her to fatten up, while you enjoy her feast. Eric, have some mercy, Stella cried, terrified. I'm your wife. Don't hand me over to these monsters. She hadn't yet grasped that Eric was tricking the witches. My love, I'm a wretched man, Eric said gravely. Before I die, I want to do one good deed by feeding our dear guests. What a noble act, the fourth witch Zanaki mocked. You're a shriveled but clever old man. Fattening yourself for our feast, the witches closed in on Stella. Please, dear aunties, let me get the potion from her, Eric said. Then you can feast on her while I fatten up, giving you 2 plump meals. Take the potion then, Sharika said, as if humoring him. Eric glanced subtly at Stella's satchel, whispering to the Zambil's guardian. Tell me, is there something in Stella's satchel from Princess Sarang Fairy to protect her? Yes, master, the guardian replied. The enchantment reversing necklace from Princess Sarang Fairy is there. It can keep the mistress safe. Relieved, Eric turned to the witches. Nothing, dear aunties. Prepare to have your wishes fulfilled. He slicked his hand into Stella's satchel, pulled out the enchantment reversing necklace, and placed it around her neck. From his Zambil, he drew the Haidari sword and the Ibrahimi shield, handing them to Stella. Then, with lightning speed, he pulled out the 1,000-ton Uj Binanak sword, which felt light in his hands but struck with crushing force, a marvel from a past quest. He also took a shield for himself. Eric, I truly believe you're the cunning trickster, blazing like lightning, Stella said, her fear turning to joy. She had been terrified of being eaten, but now faced the witches confidently. What's this? You think these puny weapons will stop us? The green-robed witch sneered. We'll make you suffer before we feast. Try fighting us first, dear aunties, Eric taunted, grinning. He was confident he could handle them now. What, this old man and his plump wife dare challenge us? Sharika roared. We'll make you writhe in agony. The witches waved their hands, summoning swords, and charged with blood-curdling screams. Stella, protected by the enchantment-reversing necklace, faced them fearlessly. I'll show these hags how to eat human flesh, Eric shouted, wielding the Uj bin Anak sword and lunging at them. But he quickly realized the fight was tougher than expected. Despite his mighty sword, the witches' attacks were relentless, their blows heavy, as if they wielded enchanted weapons. Eric shuddered, grateful he'd chosen the Uj bin Anak sword. Any ordinary blade would have failed. A seasoned trickster who had defeated countless witches, he pressed on, countering their fierce assaults with agility. He knew a single scratch could trigger acidic winds, dooming them both. How are you so spry despite your age? Eric gasped, dodging their blows. The witches, ignoring him, screamed and attacked, aiming to wound him. With a swift counter, Eric struck Janaki, who let out a horrific scream as her body burst into flames. Stella, protected by the necklace, was unharmed by their blows, which deflected off her. She blocked their attacks with the Ibrahimi shield and struck with the Haidari sword, reducing 2 more witches to ash. Only Sharika remained, attacking Eric ferociously. He stumbled, and his sword slipped from his hand, embedding in the ground. As Sharika lunged for a fatal strike, Eric, out of time, closed his eyes in fear. A piercing scream rang out. Opening his eyes, he saw Sharika engulfed in flames. Brilliant, my love, Eric exclaimed. If you hadn't struck her in time, this trial would have been our end. As his sword had fallen, Stella had leaped forward, driving the Haidari sword into Sharika's belly before she could strike, saving them. Had Stella been a moment late, Eric would have perished. Though he had faced countless witches before, this time his slip had nearly cost him. If you weren't here, I have died in these trials, he said, overjoyed. Now do you admit I'm no less than the wife of the cunning trickster, blazing like lightning?" Stella said, smiling. "These trials are truly perplexing," Eric admitted. "Sometimes we succeed by chance, sometimes by skill. Why hasn't the trial's end been announced?" Stella asked, alarmed. Usually darkness falls, and a wailing voice declares the trial broken. "Master, crush the flower on the ground to end the trial," the Zambul's guardian warned. "If you don't, 1,000 bloodthirsty witches will appear, and even the enchantment reversing necklace won't save you. Until the enchanted flower is crushed, the trial won't end," the voice urged. Pause. As they looked up, countless bloodthirsty witches filled the sky, shrieking and charging toward them. Eric lunged forward, grabbed the fallen flower, and crushed it. Instantly, flames consumed the witches, reducing them to ash as they screamed. Darkness fell. "Aha! Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon have destroyed the trial with their skill and cunning," a wailing voice declared. When the darkness lifted, a new scene appeared, leaving them stunned once more. But this tale is far from over. Eric the Hunter and Princess Stella Moon on one side, King Arias and Queen Miraj on the other, must still face new challenges and conquer all 7 layers of enchantment. In the end, who will reach the heart of the Crimson Diamond and who will claim the hidden treasure? To find out, stay with us until the next episode. After destroying the 4th trial, King of Arias and Queen Miraj found themselves in a field as black as decay. "My lord, we're still in the realm of the Sevenfold Enchantment, but this place looks like a land of rot," Queen Miraj said, staring in awe at the eerie black field. "My love, we're in the world of enchantments, where anything can happen," King of Arias replied, gazing at the ominous landscape. "We must be prepared for any challenge." "Indeed, my lord," Queen Miraj said, smiling. "These trials are not only enchanted, but also adventurous, as we've had to travel far to break them." "You're right, my love," King of Arias chuckled. "We've journeyed tirelessly to conquer these trials, and it seems they can only be broken through travel. Perhaps that's the secret of these bizarre enchantments. This quest isn't just about breaking trials. It's a thrilling, unforgettable adventure. If our fate in these strange trials is to keep traveling, then we must press forward and find the key to the 5th trial," Queen Miraj said gravely. "We've narrowly escaped death in these trials, making this a perilous journey as well." "You're right," King of Arias agreed, nodding. "These trials are not only adventurous, but also complex and powerful." As they ventured further into the black field, they spotted a structure that hadn't been visible before. "What's this? Where did this black building come from in this desolate field?" King of Arias exclaimed, startled. Queen Miraj remained silent, unsure how to respond. She knew that in the world of enchantments, even their most potent spells could fail at times. They were cautious about using magic, fearing that an ill-timed spell might violate the trial's rules, leaving them vulnerable to a deadly fate. In their previous quest through the underworld's black trials, their magic had often faltered, and only by working with their enemies had they overcome those horrors. "My lord, we must enter this mysterious black building," Queen Miraj said. "I believe the key to the 5th trial lies inside. I've noticed that in the Sevenfold Enchantment, the secrets of the black fields reveal themselves through exploration. Sometimes by chance, sometimes through our cunning or skill." King of Arias nodded, eyeing the building's open door. "Let's go, my love. Whatever happens, we'll face it. We're trapped in this terrifying world of enchantments until all 7 trials are broken." They approached the door, which led into darkness. With pounding hearts, they stepped inside. As they entered, a faint light flickered within the building, startling them. "My lord, this is a strange place," Queen Miraj said. "It looked pitch black from outside, but now a dim light guides us forward." "Well done, my lord and lady," The white squirrel on King of Arias' shoulder squeaked. You didn't use your magic before entering, or you'd have known the key to this trial. But now, no spell will work inside this enchanted building. That's the trial's rule. Why tell us this now? King of Arias grumbled. If we'd used magic to summon a greater power, we have entered defenseless, stripped of our spells. My lord, in these complex trials, I can only share what I'm permitted, the squirrel explained. I speak to keep you from falling prey to the trials, but where unforbidden, I must stay silent. And tell us, what's the key to this trial now that we're inside this mysterious building? Queen Miraj asked the Samri's enchanted squirrel. I'm sorry, my lady. I cannot say what the key is, the squirrel replied. These trials are secretive. Keep moving forward, and you'll discover it yourselves. King of Arias and Queen Miraj nodded, understanding the squirrel's limits. Let's move on then to find the key, King of Arias said. He asked the squirrel for more, but it remained silent, having shared all it could. All right, my love, let's venture deeper into this mysterious trial, King of Arias said. The faint, enchanted light guided them as they moved through the seemingly endless building. After a while, they spotted a corner ahead. What kind of building is this? So vast and empty, Queen Miraj wondered as they turned the corner. This is the world of enchantments, King of Arias replied. Anything can happen here. It may seem empty, but the key lies within, as you heard from the squirrel. The dim light persisted, sparing them the need to ignite enchanted torches. As they pressed forward, they noticed a glowing lamp on a ledge in the distance. Where did this lit lamp come from in this mysterious building? King of Arias and Queen Miraj said in unison. Pausing to consider, they were deep in the enigmatic world of enchantments. 4 trials had fallen to their hands, and now they sought the key to the 5th. Within this black structure, wary of using magic, lest it backfire in this unpredictable realm. I think we should take the lamp and proceed, Queen Miraj suggested. There are stairs descending ahead, into darkness. This lamp might be a trap, placed to distract those seeking the trial's key. We should carry it down the stairs. In its light, I see a wall ahead, but there's a staircase descending. The key to this trial likely lies below. King of Arias agreed. With a trembling heart, Queen Miraj reached for the lamp. As she lifted it, a blood-curdling scream escaped her lips. The lamp transformed into a serpent, its eyes glowing with the same eerie light. Queen Miraj gently placed the serpent back on the ledge, where it transformed back into a glowing lamp. My lord, what a terrifying mystery, she said, staring at the lamp in fear. The moment I touched it, it turned into a snake, with eerie light shining from its eyes. I think, my love, we must take this lamp, no matter what form it takes, King of Arias said with firm resolve. In this mysterious world of enchantments, this lamp was made to scare us into leaving the trial's key behind. Queen Miraj nodded, understanding his logic. She picked up the lamp again, and as before, it turned into a snake in her hand, its eyes emitting the same mysterious light. This time, she held fast, noticing the snake was motionless, as if dead. You're right, my lord, she said calmly. This lamp-turned snake is silent and still. Let's not delay, my love, King of Arias said, grimacing. We must find the key to this trial and escape these cursed, tangled enchantments. Rare treasures don't come easily, my lord, Queen Miraj said with a laugh, holding the motionless snake as she moved toward the stairs. We have to work hard for them. King of Arias smiled at her words. I thought we'd easily conquer these trials and claim the rare treasure and the crimson diamond, he said. But these complex enchantments have made us sweat. Now I understand that such treasures require effort. Honestly, though, I'm enjoying these mysterious trials. It's been ages since I embarked on a sevenfold enchantment quest with my beloved wife. Plus, we're recalling the spells needed to break these trials as we go. The early trials were tough, weren't they? Queen Miraj smiled, looking at him, as they began descending the stairs. They reached a vast hall, where their hearts leaped into their throats. Countless snakes slithered across the walls and floor, surrounding them. The seemingly dead snake in Queen Miraj's hand suddenly came to life, hissing loudly. Terrified, she screamed and threw it to the floor, where it slithered swiftly to join the millions of other snakes. "Why did you throw the trial's key snake, my lady?" The sharp voice of the Samri's white squirrel scolded. "I told you, the key would reveal itself. You had the trial's key in your grasp. You needed to cut its head with the Samri or Jamshed's sword, but you let it go free. Why didn't you tell us earlier that the mysterious snake was the key?" King of Arias snapped angrily at the squirrel. "My lord, I've told you before, I can only share what I'm permitted," the squirrel explained. "Now, those snakes are coming for you. If even one bites you, your bodies will melt like wax, and a painful death will be your fate. These are the snakes of death. The one you held was the trial's key. Now you must evade these snakes, find the key snake again, and destroy it." "How can we escape millions of snakes?" Queen Miraj asked, trembling. The squirrel fell silent. Having shared all it could. "What do we do now, my love? We're in deep trouble," King of Arias said, watching the snakes slither closer, his voice thick with fear. The millions of snakes were nearly upon them, and their gruesome deaths seemed imminent. "My lord, quickly chant the special spell of Boja deity," Queen Miraj shouted. Startled, King of Arias began reciting the spell. Before any snake could bite, a strange carpet appeared beneath their feet, lifting them into the air. The enchanted snakes lunged at the carpet, but its fiery edges burned them, causing them to fall back. "You chanted the perfect spell at the right moment," Queen Miraj said, relieved. "I summoned Boja deity's enchanted carpet just in time. Now airborne." They studied the snakes below. The carpet's edges blazed with light, illuminating the room. Every snake appeared red, writhing on the floor and walls. "My lord, where's the trial's key snake?" Queen Miraj asked in frustration. The squirrel had warned that killing the wrong snake would render their magic useless, ensuring their doom. The red snakes kept leaping at the carpet, only to burn and fall. Safe for now, King of Arias and Queen Miraj scanned the horde. "Look, my love, that one." King of Arias pointed to a black snake among the red ones. When the lamp turned into a snake in your hand, it was black, not red. "You're right, my lord. We found the trial's key snake," Queen Miraj said, overjoyed, spotting the black snake trying to hide among the others, instead of attacking. "Take us to the black snake, enchanted carpet of Boja deity," King of Arias commanded. The carpet moved closer, and the red snakes leaped at it, only to burn and fall. Queen Miraj chanted a spell, and a rope appeared in her hand. She threw it toward the black snake, which became ensnared, allowing her to pull it toward them. King of Arias chanted another spell, summoning the Samri sword. With swift precision, he severed the black snake's head. As the trial's key was destroyed, the carpet gently lowered them to the floor and vanished. A thick darkness enveloped them. Aha! King of Arias and Queen Miraj have used their powerful magic to destroy the trial's key snake among millions, breaking the fifth trial of the Black Sevenfold Enchantment, a wailing voice declared in the darkness. As silence lifted and light returned, revealing a new scene. Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon found themselves in a jungle. "These trials keep changing their colors and throwing us off," Stella said, grimacing. "You're right, my love," Eric replied. "One moment it's a jungle, then a cave, a valley, a black field, or a desert. These trials are truly complex, but we're breaking them with our skills. It's a great feat that we're succeeding, Stella said. These trials are mysterious and tangled, but two remain. The scenes keep shifting, and we might be caught off guard and perish in the next trial. Or we could break it, only for our enemies, King of Arias and Queen Miraj, to reach the treasure cave first, claim the Crimson Diamond, and leave us to face the final two trials. You speak as if we're doomed to fall to a trial? Eric said. I'm certain we'll break all 7 and reach the treasure cave, but our enemies will likely get there too, having conquered their own black trials. They're tough as nails and won't die easily, Eric added, grinning. All right, Eric. If that sorcerer King of Arias and Queen Miraj are so cunning, we're no less, Princess Stella Moon said with determination. We'll deal with them at the treasure cave. Eric looked at her with admiration. You're right, my love. We shouldn't delay. Let's find the key to this trial, Stella said seriously. Eric nodded in agreement, and they moved forward through the jungle. Suddenly, they spotted 2 red birds perched in a clearing. Eric, where did these birds come from? Stella asked, gazing at them in wonder. My love, this is the enchanted world. Seeing magical creatures like these birds isn't surprising, Eric replied, studying them. But what do they mean by being here? Are they here to carry us to the trial's key? Stella said, half joking. Eric started at her words. You're absolutely right. There must be a reason for their presence. I should consult the golden tablet. He pulled it from his zamble. Oh, golden tablet, tell us why these red birds are here, in the 6th trial's jungle. A tablet responded in black letters. Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon. These red birds will take you to the trial's key. But during the flight, you must stay vigilant, as this trial is highly complex, requiring your sharpest wits. What does this mean? What is this trial? And will the birds drop us from the sky? Eric asked the tablet, alarmed. Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon. These birds are enchanted and will carry you near the trial's key. You must find it yourselves. I do not know what the key is, the tablet replied in black letters. Eric and Stella exchanged glances. All right, my love, we'll face whatever comes, Eric said, tucking the tablet back into his zambille. No matter how complex or secretive this trial is, we'll find the key, Stella said, showing courage instead of fear. Eric grinned. Let's ride these red birds and explore this enchanted jungle, he said, smiling at Stella. They approached the birds without hesitation, knowing from the tablet that they would lead them close to the trial's key. Eric mounted one bird, Stella the other. As soon as they settled, the birds flapped their wings and soared into the sky, as if waiting for them. They gripped the birds' thick necks tightly to avoid falling. The enchanted jungle stretched endlessly below. What a thrilling trial, flying through the air, Stella said, smiling at Eric, but their joy was short-lived. My lord, a great danger approaches. Protect yourselves, the sharp voice of the Zambille's guardian dwarf warned. What danger? Eric asked, startled. Suddenly, hundreds of red flame-like dwarves appeared in the sky, wielding small arrows. They unleashed a barrage of fiery arrows at them. You wretched dwarves, what are you doing? Don't you know we're flying on these birds? Eric shouted, flustered, as the birds continued toward the dwarves. Despite the attack, luckily, none of the arrows hit them, passing close by. Eric, we're in trouble. Where did these cursed red dwarves come from? Stella cried, panicked. Eric had no answer, caught in the same predicament. Another wave of arrows rained down, forcing them to duck and cling to the birds' necks. Had the arrows struck, their bodies would have burst into flames, as the dwarves' arrows were ablaze. After 2 failed attacks, the dwarves screamed and launched a third, fiercer assault. With countless arrows, just before the arrows reached them, Stella pulled a green cloak from her satchel, a gift from Princess Serene Fairy, who had instructed her to use it in dire situations. As she draped it over herself, a glass wall formed around her, deflecting the arrows, which shattered into pieces. Stella remained unharmed. Meanwhile, Eric drew his Suleimani veil from the Zambil, and the arrows aimed at him bounced back, falling to the ground. The dwarves' third attack failed, and their bodies burst into flames as if they could only attack 3 times. Darkness fell. "We've broken the 6th trial," Eric shouted joyfully. But when the darkness lifted, they saw the red birds still carrying them forward. "What's this? The birds are still flying?" Stella said, alarmed, removing the cloak and tucking it back into her satchel. "Does this mean the trial isn't over?" "If it was, the birds would have vanished," Eric said, startled. "We have fallen to our deaths from this height." Stella's eyes widened in fear. They were high above the ground, and a fall would have shattered their bones. Moments later, they noticed the jungle had given way to a desert. The birds descended, landing in the sand, and as Eric and Stella dismounted, they flew off and vanished. "Where have these birds gone, leaving us here?" Stella asked, scanning the horizon in confusion. "Let's move forward and find the trial's key," Eric said, taking a deep breath, as if exhausted. "Eric, we've been wandering endlessly. Why don't you ask one of your enchanted items for the trial's key so we can break it?" Stella suggested. Eric nodded and pulled the talking doll from his Zambil. "Oh, talking doll, tell us what the trial's key is and how we can destroy it," he said, placing his thumb on its head. The doll's lifeless eyes glowed. "Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon, you must find 14 red sand grains in this desert and place them in your palm. As evening falls, red death ants will emerge in droves. These ants are immune to weapons, fire, and water. No enchanted item from your Zambil or Stella's satchel can protect you." "How can we find 14 red sand grains in this vast desert?" Eric asked, distressed. "You must use your wits to break this complex trial. I'm not permitted to say more," the doll replied, its eyes dimming as it fell silent. "This is a strange and tangled trial, searching for 14 red sand grains in this desert," Eric said, frustrated, tucking the doll back into his Zambil. "What a bizarre condition," Stella said, worried, though she had stood by Eric successfully thus far. "Wait, I'm the cunning trickster after all," Eric exclaimed suddenly, his face lighting up. He summoned the Zambil's guardian dwarf, who emerged looking like Eric's twin, blazing with energy. "Oh, guardian dwarf, find 14 red sand grains in this desert and bring them to me," Eric commanded, proud of his clever plan. "As you command," the dwarf said, bowing before diving into the sand like a snake. Eric and Stella waited, but the dwarf did not return. Worry crept across Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon's faces. "Eric, what if the guardian dwarf has been caught in some trouble or killed?" Stella asked anxiously. "That's never happened before," Eric replied, his voice tinged with concern. "If something happened to the dwarf, the Zambil would have vanished by now. The guardian dwarf had been gone for a long time, and no enchanted item could summon it back." "Eric, evening is near," Stella said, her voice trembling. "If the dwarf doesn't return soon, the bloodthirsty red ants will emerge from the desert, and a painful death will be our fate." "Why hasn't the guardian dwarf returned yet?" Eric growled, clenching his fists in frustration. As evening approached, the threat of the red death ants loomed, promising a gruesome end. Suddenly, the guardian dwarf appeared before them. "Why did the talking doll lie?" Eric shouted, startled, as if disaster had already struck. "My lord, the talking doll didn't lie," the dwarf replied. "You must place 14 red sand grains in your palms to break the trial. You need to act quickly, as the bloodthirsty ants will emerge any moment. If you kill even one ant, your bodies will burst into flames. These are death ants, immune to all enchanted items, and I can no longer help you. But with your cunning, you can break this trial." Without waiting for a response, the dwarf vanished back into the Zambil. "What do we do now, my love? We're in deep trouble," Eric said, his voice breaking as he looked at Stella. Stella, staring at where the dwarf had been, was equally distressed. They exchanged helpless glances. "My lord, hurry! The red ants are about to emerge," the Zambil's guardian dwarf's sharp voice warned again. "Curse you for scaring us and abandoning us in this mess," Eric snapped, his face contorted in despair. "Do something, Eric, or we'll die horribly," Stella cried, her expression mirroring his fear. They were trapped in a dire situation, with no clear solution. "Wait, I remember," Stella exclaimed suddenly. "The talking doll and the guardian dwarf said, we need to place 14 red sand grains in our palms to break the trial. If we use something red to color the sand grains, it might work." Eric's eyes lit up, as if Stella had found a way to escape their doom. "Brilliant, my love. You've become a master of these trials," he said, overjoyed. "It's like my cunning has rubbed off on you. I'm the wife of the world's greatest trickster, after all," Stella said, smiling proudly. "Exactly," Eric grinned. "Click, find something red to color the sand grains. My love, this is the world of enchantments," Eric said, thoughtfully. "I think we must offer our blood to color the grains. It's the only way to break this tangled trial." "You mean we have to use our blood to color the sand grains?" Stella asked, shocked. Before Eric could respond, they heard a rustling sound. Countless red ants emerged from the desert, swarming toward them. Screaming in fear, Eric and Stella quickly scooped up sand, counted 14 grains each, and placed them in their palms, discarding the rest. The ants reached them, biting their feet. The pain was excruciating, as if needles had pierced their flesh. They screamed, but knowing the ants couldn't be killed or brushed off, they endured. Despite the agony, Eric and Stella bit their fingers, intensifying their pain. More screams escaped as they dripped their blood onto the sand grains in their palms. As they did, the desert and ants vanished instantly. "Well done, my lord and lady," the guardian dwarf's voice echoed. "By using your wits and offering your blood, you've broken the trial." Darkness fell, as per the trial's rules. "Aha! Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon have used their blood to color the sand grains, breaking the trial," a wailing voice declared, in the darkness. When the darkness lifted, they found themselves in a new place, stunned by the change. "My love, we finally conquered those tangled trials with our lives intact," Eric said. "Only a few trials remain." Meanwhile, King of Arias and Queen Miraj found themselves in a jungle, but they were astonished to see the leaves were red instead of green. "My lord, this sixth trial is strange. The leaves are red, not green," Queen Miraj said. "We must cross this jungle while avoiding these trees." "How can we avoid countless trees in this dense, enchanted jungle?" Queen Miraj asked, looking at King of Arias with concern. "I don't understand why the leaves are red," King of Arias said, worried. "But this is the enchanted world, and red leaves signal danger." "We've broken 5 trials successfully," Queen Miraj said, bravely. "Only 2 remain, so we must be extremely cautious. These final trials are mysterious and powerful." "You are right, my love," King of Arias agreed. "We haven't used our spells much in this world, fearing they might overpower us. But we should use our powers now, as we don't know what this trial holds. Finding the key without magic could be grueling." He chanted a spell and stomped the ground. A cloud of smoke appeared, transforming into a beautiful girl in stunning attire. "What is your command, my lord? Why have you summoned me?" she asked, bowing respectfully. "You are Chali, the Queen of Red Magic appointed by us," King of Arias said. "You promised to guide us about red magic. Tell us, are we in the 6th stage of the Sevenfold Enchantment, where everything appears red?" "Why is this, my lord and lady?" "You are in the red trial, the 6th stage," Chali replied, courteously. "Its secrets remain hidden, so I cannot reveal more. You must walk 7 steps to the nearest tree, eat 7 of its leaves, and repeat this 7 times. Only then will the trial secret be revealed. Is it necessary to eat the leaves? Queen Miraj asked, alarmed. Yes, my lady, you must, or you cannot break this trial, Charlie replied. King of Arias grimaced but nodded. You may go, he said. Charlie bowed, turned into smoke, and vanished. This is a bizarre condition to break this trial, Queen Miraj said. No matter, my love. Rare treasures don't come easily, King of Arias replied. That devilish pair, Eric and Stella, know nothing of true sorcery, yet they've entered these trials. Eric is the world's greatest trickster, with countless enchanted items, Queen Miraj said, smiling. King of Arias laughed. Let's begin, my love. You'll have to act like an animal with me, he teased. What do you mean? Queen Miraj asked, confused. Obviously, we'll eat tree leaves like animals. What else can we do? He said, grinning. Queen Miraj smiled. They walked 7 steps to the nearest tree and began eating 7 leaves. The leaves were bitterly foul, and they started to spit them out, when the white squirrel's sharp voice rang out. Beware! You must force yourselves to eat these bitter leaves, or this trial will turn deadly. Follow the trial's rules. How rude! King of Arias and Queen Miraj snapped in unison, annoyed at the squirrel. But it fell silent, having said all it was permitted. With no other choice, King of Arias and Queen Miraj forced themselves to eat the bitter, acrid leaves. My lord, these cursed tree leaves are awful, and we still have 6 more trees to go, Queen Miraj said. King of Arias remained silent, unable to respond, as he too was compelled to eat the leaves. They moved forward, stopping after 7 steps at the next tree. They plucked 7 leaves and reluctantly put them in their mouths. But to their delight, these red leaves were sweet and pleasant. My love, this trial is truly bizarre, King of Arias said, amazed. They counted 7 more steps to the 3rd tree, eagerly plucking 7 red leaves and putting them in their mouths, expecting sweetness. But as soon as they did, a sharp sourness filled their mouths. The leaves were bitterly tart. Unable to spit them out due to the trial's rules, they forced themselves to swallow. My lord, this trial is so strange. Each tree's leaves have different flavors, and we're eating them like they're our food, Queen Miraj said, smiling. She enjoyed sour flavors and ate the leaves eagerly, while King of Arias grudgingly consumed them. Cursing the trial that forced them to eat like animals, they continued to the 4th tree, where the leaves were extremely sweet, and both ate them with relish. The 5th tree's leaves were mildly bitter, which Queen Miraj ate easily, but King of Arias had to force down. The 6th tree's leaves were as bitterly harsh as the first, bringing tears to their eyes. They cursed the trial for making them eat such leaves. At the 7th tree, after 7 more steps, they plucked 7 leaves and put them in their mouths, finding them salty but bearable, which they ate with ease. Thank goodness, my love, this animal-like leaf-eating ordeal is over, King of Arias said, with a faint smile, exhausted from the 2 trees with unbearably bitter leaves. But my lord, we still haven't found the key to this cursed trial, Queen Miraj said, grimacing. Let's move forward, my love. Perhaps we'll find the key to this tangled trial, King of Arias replied, and Queen Miraj nodded in agreement. As they advanced, they spotted a small hill with a cave in the jungle. My lord, we should enter this cave. The key to this cursed trial might be inside, and we'll use our skills to destroy it, Queen Miraj suggested. King of Arias agreed, and they entered the cave without hesitation. As soon as they stepped inside, a massive boulder rolled across the entrance, sealing them in. But they noticed a faint light in the distance, suggesting a way out. In this mysterious world of enchantments, they pressed forward, and the light grew brighter, confirming an exit. When they emerged, they found themselves in a vast open field instead of the jungle. "My love, we've come out of the cave, but now we're in a wide field instead of the jungle," King of Arias exclaimed, startled. "Yes, my lord, those trees confused us completely," Queen Miraj said, taking a deep breath, mentally exhausted from not yet finding the trial's key. "Beware, my lord and lady, the trial's key is coming to you, and you must use your wits and bravery to destroy it." The white squirrel, perched on King of Arias's shoulder, warned sharply. "What do you mean? What key is coming to us?" they asked, startled. But the squirrel fell silent, permitted only to say so much. Suddenly, they heard eerie chants. "Human scent, human scent." Their faces paled with fear, realizing something ominous was approaching. "What does this mean? How did these cursed giants appear in this trial?" King of Arias shouted, alarmed. "I don't know, my lord, but we must use our skills fully, or we'll become their prey if we weaken," Queen Miraj said, steeling herself against the chilling sounds. "Ha! After ages, we'll feast on human flesh. It's so delicious," a voice roared. They heard feminine laughter and saw two massive giants, one red, one blue, approaching, with two strikingly beautiful, delicate fairies, one red and one blue, by their sides. The four advanced toward them, wielding heavy maces and sharp swords. "You humans are fortunate to have broken 5 tangled trials with your skills," the blue fairy said, eyeing them hungrily. "Now we can feast on you. You knew we, the sorcerer-king and queen, were here, yet you bloodthirsty creatures dare to crave our blood?" Queen Miraj retorted. "After ages, we'll drink human blood. You're strong and healthy, perfect for us giants, and your wife's blood will satisfy our fairy wives. You think we'll let you drink our blood? We're here to break this trial, and you dare challenge us?" King of Arias spat angrily, though fear dried their blood. The red giant and blue fairy charged at King of Arias, while the blue giant and red fairy targeted Queen Miraj, brandishing their weapons. "You devils, don't you know I'm the queen of sorcerers, and my husband is the king? We'll turn you into dogs with our magic," Queen Miraj shouted. But the giants and fairies laughed, advancing undeterred. "Beware, my lord and lady. Do not use your magic here. You can only summon the Samri and Jamshed swords and shields. Any other magic will strip you of these weapons, leaving you defenseless against these bloodthirsty creatures," the white squirrel warned urgently. Startled, they heeded the squirrel's advice. Waving their hands, they summoned enchanted weapons. King of Arias held the Jamshed sword in his right hand and the Samri shield in his left, while Queen Miraj wielded the Samri sword in her right and the Jamshed shield in her left. "You forced us to eat tree leaves like animals, and now you expect us to surrender to you bloodthirsty creatures?" they shouted in unison, grimacing. The red giant and blue fairy attacked King of Arias with a ferocious cry. He blocked the giant's heavy mace with the Jamshed sword and deflected the fairy's sword with the Samri shield. On the other side, the blue giant and red fairy assaulted Queen Miraj, who skillfully parried their blows. If they had ordinary weapons, the giant's maces would have shattered them, and the fairy's swords would have severed their necks. But the enchanted weapons held strong. Despite their powerful arms, King of Arias and Queen Miraj feared the giants and fairies. A single mistake could lead to a gruesome death, their blood feeding these creatures. They fought back fiercely, proving they were no ordinary humans, but the king and queen of sorcerers. The battlefield echoed with the clash of swords, shields, and maces. The red giant and blue fairy attacked King of Arias relentlessly, while he countered skillfully, aiming to strike them down. Meanwhile, the blue giant and red fairy pressed Queen Miraj, who fought bravely, dodging and striking to end them. dodging the red giant's powerful mace. King of Arias landed a precise blow to its leg. The giant couldn't evade the Jamshed sword, which sliced through its leg, felling it with a scream. The blue fairy paused to check on her husband, giving King of Arias an opening to sever her neck. The red giant, ignoring its wounded leg, struck King of Arias's leg with its mace, causing him to cry out in pain, as if hit by an iron rod. Clenching his teeth, he held onto his weapons, knowing that losing them meant certain death. With another strike, he drove the sword into the giant's stomach, felling it. On the other side, Queen Miraj, agile despite her slender frame, dodged the blue giant and red fairy's relentless attacks. She landed a blow on the red fairy's arm, causing a scratch that burned like salt in a wound. Queen Miraj screamed, but pressed on, striking the fairy's stomach. As the fairy fell, the blue giant swung his mace, but Queen Miraj blocked it with the Jamshed shield. With renewed vigor, she struck the giant's leg, forcing him down, and then severed his head. King of Arias finished off the red giant and blue fairy with his enchanted weapons. As both pairs of giants and fairies were defeated, a thick darkness enveloped the field. Exhausted, King of Arias and Queen Miraj realized they had overcome the treacherous sixth trial. They smiled, collapsed to the ground, panting. The sixth trial is broken. Its key was to eat 7 leaves from 7 trees, cross the enchanted cave, and defeat these bloodthirsty giants and fairies without magic, using only skill, a wailing voice declared in the darkness. Silence followed, and when the darkness lifted, they found themselves in a new place. Stay with the story, for the final trial awaits. Who will uncover the hidden treasure? And who will claim the legendary Crimson Diamond? This tale is far from over. Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon stood before a massive mountain riddled with caves, from which cool breezes emanated. They realized they had reached the 7th and final trial. Suddenly, 2 white reflections appeared in one of the caves, one of a towering giant, Prince Arsing Giant, and the other of his beautiful fiancée, Princess Sarang Fairy. Well done, Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon. You've bravely conquered 6 tangled trials. Only one remains. Break this final trial and the rare treasures, including the Crimson Diamond, will be yours, hidden within this cave. Princess Sarang Fairy's reflection spoke. Eric smiled. Tell us, Princess, how can we break this 7th and final trial? What is its key? He asked, grinning, knowing that in this enchanted world, the giant fairy couple had been watching them, guiding them despite the trial's rules preventing direct aid. I'm amazed that Princess Stella Moon has outshone even you, Eric, in this world of trials, supporting you every step, Prince Arsing Giant said, praising her. All right, both of you, tell us how to break this trial, Stella asked the reflections, who, despite existing outside the trials, were secretly aiding them with their powers. Soon, 2 Samri birds will arrive and take you somewhere. Though we don't know where, Prince Arsing Giant said. Be warned. This final trial is secretive and dangerous, and you'll endure great pain. But if you break it, you'll reach the treasure cave. Where are they? The King of Arias and Queen Miraj? Are they trapped in a trial? Or are they succeeding too? Stella asked, smiling. Eric looked at the reflections, eager for their response. Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon, the King of Arias and Queen Miraj, are also facing great challenges. Using their skills to break trials and advancing, they too have reached the final trial. But since the trials of the Black Sevenfold Enchantment are secretive, we don't know what their final challenge is. As the King and Queen of Sorcerers, they'll likely break it with their abilities. You must break this trial and reach the treasure cave to claim the rare treasures. As we cannot aid you there, Princess Sarang Fairy's voice echoed. May fortune favor you both. We'll meet again in our world. The reflections of Prince Arsing Giant and Princess Sarang Fairy said in unison, waving. Eric and Stella waved back, and the reflections vanished.
All right, my love. Whatever happens, we'll face it. We've broken 6 trials.
We'll break this one too, and confront the king and queen in the treasure cave, Eric said, looking at Stella, who nodded. As they stood there, a loud flapping sound filled the air. 2 massive, black samurai birds swooped into the cave, charging at them. Before Eric or Stella could react, one bird sank its talons into Eric's neck and the other into Stella's. They were lifted out of the cave and soared into the sky. Within moments, they were high above the ground. The birds' talons dug deep, drawing blood and eliciting screams of pain. Looking down, their hearts sank. They were thousands of feet up. If the birds released them, they'd plummet to their deaths, their bones ground to dust. The birds flew relentlessly, and a searing pain overwhelmed them as blood dripped from their wounds, staining their clothes. The mountain range gave way to jungles, then a desert with beautiful oases, followed by lush valleys, and finally a vast ocean. Had they been riding the birds, the journey might have been thrilling. But now, their lives hung in the balance, tormented by the cruel birds. The samurai birds dropped them into a salty, stagnant pool by the ocean's edge. As the briny water hit their wounds, Eric and Stella screamed louder, writhing like wounded animals. The salt felt like fire on their gashes. They scrambled out of the water, collapsing onto the sand, groaning in agony. Ugh, this trial has shown us that claiming rare treasures isn't easy. We must endure great hardships, Eric groaned, pulling a healing salve from his zambil, given by a sage during a past quest. He applied it to his neck and handed it to Stella, who did the same. Instantly, their wounds vanished, as if they'd never been. Eric, in this world of trials, we're suffering so much, and we still haven't found this trial's key, Stella said. You're right, my love. We must find and break the key quickly, or the king and queen will reach the treasures first, leaving us empty-handed in the cave, Eric said, tucking the salve back into his zambil. We're standing by the ocean, and I think the trial's key lies within it. Those cursed birds wouldn't have dropped us here otherwise, Eric said, drawing on his experience from countless trials. Wait, I remember, Stella exclaimed. Prince Arsing Giant gave me an enchanted tablet, saying it could reveal secrets in this world. She pulled a small wooden tablet from her satchel. Your mind works wonders even in such trials, my love, Eric said, smiling. Stella held the tablet. Oh, enchanted tablet, tell us the key to this trial and how to break it, she asked. Princess Stella Moon and Eric Hunter, you are close to the trial's key, which lies in the ocean. You must face sea creatures to find a red conch, the key to this trial. Once you find it, the path to the treasure cave will appear. A tablet replied in golden letters. My love, that giant fairy couple gave you a rare treasure. This tablet is as valuable as my golden one, Eric said, grinning. But how do we enter this vast ocean? Stella asked. Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon. Apply the Sea Breathe elixir to your faces to breathe underwater. As for facing sea creatures and finding the red conch, use the enchanted items in Eric's zambil to navigate the ocean safely. The tablet's golden letters instructed, All right, my love. Put the tablet in my zambil. I'll take it from here, Eric said, pulling a black bottle with a cork from his zambil. He opened it, releasing a cloud of smoke that soon cleared. What's in that bottle, Eric? Stella asked, placing the tablet in the zambil. It's the sea breath elixir the tablet mentioned. My zambil holds solutions to many problems, Eric said, applying the black liquid to his face, which darkened. You look like a ghost, Stella teased, laughing. To break trials, we must do strange things. You'll have to become a ghost too, Eric said, handing her the bottle. Stella applied the elixir, her face darkening as well. Eric pulled an enchanted flying carpet and Suleimani veil from his zambil. "Sit on the carpet," he said. They sat, and a veil spread over them. "O carpet, take us into the ocean where the trial's key, the red conch, lies," Eric commanded. The carpet soared, diving into the ocean. Darkness enveloped them, but the elixir allowed them to breathe as if on land. "Eric, it's pitch black in here," Stella's voice echoed. "No worries, my love. I have a solution," Eric said, pulling an enchanted needle from his zambil. He ran it over his eyes and handed it to Stella, who did the same. Instantly, they could see clearly underwater. "Your zambil has everything," Stella said, delighted. "But using them at the right time requires cunning," Eric replied, grinning. The carpet carried them deeper into the ocean. Despite their soaked clothes and washed-away bloodstains, the enchanted items allowed them to breathe and speak effortlessly. A massive sea creature loomed ahead. "Eric, what's that?" Stella asked, alarmed. "Don't worry, my love. With our enchanted items, no sea creature can harm us," Eric said calmly, reassuring Stella, whose breath had caught at the sight. "You're mistaken," the zambil's guardian dwarf's voice interrupted. "You must face these sea creatures. Your enchanted items will aid you, so confront them bravely." Eric and Stella started. "I remember!" Stella exclaimed. "Princess Sarang Fairy and her fiancé gave me the 1,000-arrow quiver, saying it could fire 1,000 arrows at enemies with a single command." She pulled a small quiver, filled with countless arrows, from her satchel. The 1,000-arrow quiver didn't need to be drawn. A single command would unleash 1,000 arrows upon the enemy. As the massive whale approached, threatening to overturn their enchanted carpet, Stella commanded the quiver. Thousands of arrows shot out, piercing the whale's body. Blood spread through the ocean, staining the water red, despite it being an enchanted sea where creatures still bled. "Brilliant, my love. Prince Arsing Giant and Princess Sarang Fairy gave you such an incredible enchanted item. You could break these trials without me. Your mind shines in this world of enchantments," Eric said, marveling at the fallen whale. The carpet descended deeper into the ocean, where they encountered more whales, giant octopuses, and other sea creatures. Stella's 1,000-arrow quiver dispatched them all. Soon, the carpet settled on the ocean floor, where countless red conches lay scattered. "Eric, look! There are thousands of red conches here. How will we find the trial's key among them?" Stella asked, distressed. "Don't worry, my love. Your husband is here with a solution for every problem. You handled the sea creatures with your enchanted item. Now it's my turn to find the trial's key," Eric said confidently. He pulled the enchanted dagger of David from his zambil. "O dagger of David, strike the trial's key conch among these thousands and destroy it," he commanded, tossing it into the sea. Eric refrained from striking randomly, knowing the trial's rules. A wrong strike could make the dagger vanish, leaving them vulnerable to the ocean's creatures. The dagger flew, targeting one red conch among the thousands, shattering it. As the trial's key was destroyed, a whirlpool erupted, and wails of tormented spirits filled the sea, nearly bursting their eardrums. Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon, with your skills and timely use of enchanted items, you have broken the 7th stage of the Sevenfold Enchantment, a wailing voice declared in the darkness. As it cleared, they stood near a cave. "My love, we've finally broken all the trials. Hurry, let's enter the treasure cave. All the riches are ours," Eric shouted, joyfully. They rushed inside, but as they entered, they froze in shock. "How will we know the key to this final trial?" Queen Miraj asked, looking at King of Arias. "I think we should summon the Black Scorpion. It can guide us," King of Arias replied. Queen Miraj nodded, and they closed their eyes, chanting a spell. As they did, a voice interrupted. "King of Arias and Queen Miraj, what are you doing in the final trial of the Black Sevenfold Enchantment? How did you get here? These are treacherous trials," The Black Scorpion, Prince of the Scorpion Realm, asked in a human voice, astonished. "We're here to break this trial and claim the rare treasures," Queen Miraj said. "Why did you summon me with your powerful spell?" The Black Scorpion asked, its tone sharp. "Tell us, Prince Scorpion, how can we break this trial? What is its key?" King of Arias asked. "Give me a moment," the Black Scorpion said, vanishing. It soon reappeared. "King of Arias and Queen Miraj, as you advance, these mountains will erupt like volcanoes. You must find a blue rock, the trial's key, and destroy it. But beware, these are volcanic mountains, intensely hot. Use your magic carefully to locate and shatter the blue rock. A single misstep could lead to a fiery death in the lava." The Black Scorpion warned. "Can we use our magic fully in this trial without making it more dangerous?" "In some trials, our magic was restricted," King of Arias asked curiously. "Since you've successfully broken 6 trials, you can use your magic freely here. But if a single spark of lava touches you, it will unleash a flood of molten lava, rendering your magic useless, and a painful death will be your fate," the Black Scorpion cautioned. "Thank you, Prince Scorpion. We're deeply grateful for your guidance," Queen Miraj said, smiling. The Black Scorpion vanished. "What should we do, my lord? Shall we travel these mountains and find the blue rock?" Queen Miraj asked. "Yes, my love. If we face trouble, we'll use our magic. If the volcanoes erupt, we'll ride the enchanted carpet," King of Arias said. Queen Miraj suggested summoning the carpet now, but King of Arias preferred walking, to observe closely. She agreed, and they advanced, scanning the mountains for the blue. "Look, my lord, there's a rock inside that cave, but we can't see its color," Queen Miraj said, pointing. "Let's check it out. It might be the trial's key," King of Arias replied. They hurried forward, but a roaring sound stopped them. "Quick, my love, chant the spell and summon the enchanted carpet. Deadly lava is about to erupt," King of Arias shouted, alarmed. Queen Miraj chanted, and the carpet appeared beneath their feet. As it did, the mountains erupted, spewing scorching lava. The carpet soared high, but the heat was still intense. "Thank goodness we're using our magic, or we'd have fallen into this trial's lava and turned to ash," Queen Miraj said, staring at the molten flow below. "This is a terrifying trial, with volcanoes and lava everywhere," King of Arias said, horrified. "Every mountain is erupting. This final trial is dreadful," Queen Miraj added, frantically searching for the blue rock, but only black rock. "Wait, my lord, Shagun can help us," Queen Miraj exclaimed. "You're right, my love. Since we can use our magic fully, let's summon Shagun." King of Arias agreed. They chanted a powerful spell, and smoke transformed into a dark, ugly old man with skin black as a griddle. "What is your command, my lord and lady? You seem troubled. How can I help?" Shagun asked, bowing respectfully, his slave-like power summoned instead of his friendly one. "Shagun, quickly, tell us where the trial's blue rock is, so we can destroy it," Queen Miraj urged. "Your carpet is above the mountain where the blue rock lies. Act fast, as the trial's time limit approaches. If it runs out, the trial will turn deadly, and your carpet will vanish," Shagun warned. Then, he disappeared. "Take the carpet down. We must destroy the blue rock," King of Arias shouted. They chanted, swallowing enchanted cooling pills to withstand the heat. As the carpet descended, they spotted the blue rock. Each chanted a spell, summoning heavy maces. The carpet neared the rock, and despite the intense heat, the pills kept them cool, though sweat poured from the lava's radiance. Had they not taken the pills, they'd have burned to cinders. Together, they struck the blue rock. Shattering it, darkness fell, and wails of tormented spirits deafened them. King of Arias and Queen Miraj, with your powerful magic, intellect, and skill, you have broken the black sevenfold enchantment, a wailing voice declared, shaking their eardrums. Silence followed, and then the darkness lifted. They stood near an ordinary mountain with a cave, no longer volcanic. Overjoyed, They entered the cave, but froze in shock. At the same moment, Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon entered, and also froze, as they nearly fell into a deep chasm. The cave was vast, dark, and reeked of decay, its walls dripping with filth. We've broken all the trials according to their rules, enduring immense hardships. Why are we in this foul cave instead of the treasure cave? Stella asked, scanning the surroundings. I think, my love. We've reached the edge of hell, Eric said, bewildered, looking around. Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon realized they were as clueless as their counterparts about what had happened. The cave still reeked of decay, so Eric pulled a rare perfume vial from his zamble. He opened it, letting a few drops fall. Instantly, a floral fragrance filled the air, banishing the foul stench that had been overwhelming them. This perfume was a gift from a genie Eric had saved during a perilous quest. The genie, cured of a deadly illness with a special flower Eric retrieved, had given him the vial, explaining that its rare essence could neutralize even the most noxious odors, real or enchanted, transforming the air into a pleasant scent. Bravo, Eric! This rare perfume worked like magic, turning this filthy cave stench into a delightful fragrance. Stella exclaimed. Let's hurry, my love. The treasure cave must be nearby, and we need to reach it before those scoundrels, Eric said, worried. Stella nodded, relieved that the perfume had erased the oppressive smell. They pressed deeper into the cave, eager to beat King of Arias and Queen Miraj to the treasure. But the cave seemed endless, like the depths of hell. Exhausted, especially Stella, who was in a terrible state, they faltered. Eric, these trials have worn us down. We broke 7 trials, yet we haven't found the treasure cave. Where are we trapped? Stella said, collapsing to the ground. I'm exhausted too, my love. But I don't know where we went wrong. Somehow, we've ended up in the wrong cave instead of the treasure one, Eric said, looking at her with concern. What do you mean? I heard the 7th trials end with my own ears. What kind of trick is this? Stella asked, her voice trembling with fear. The world of trials is strange and terrifying, ruled by strict laws. If we made a mistake, the trials can become far more dangerous. We may have to redo the 7th trial, Eric said, his tone heavy with worry. Stella's breath caught. That's terrifying. How can we redo all those trials? If we err again, 7 trials could multiply into 70, or even 700. We'd face a gruesome death without even a grave, she said, nearly in tears. I didn't say I was wrong, my love. We broke 7 perilous trials according to their rules. A small mistake doesn't mean all trials will spiral out of control. I'm sure it's just a minor error, Eric said, trying to comfort her. But the endless cave deepened his own unease. He hid his worry to avoid distressing Stella further. The Zanbil remained silent, despite usually warning them of mortal danger. Come, my love, staying in this cursed cave too long could be dangerous. Let's move forward. The treasure might be close, Eric urged. Despite her exhaustion, Stella rose, driven by fear of death. Eric, we were so confident we'd beat those wretched 2 to the treasure cave. But fate is mocking us. We've broken all the trials, yet we're trapped like caged birds in this horrific cave, Stella said, forcing herself to walk. Don't worry, my love. You're with Eric Hunter, the legendary trickster, destroyer of trials, and bane of sorcerers. I'll find a way out, Eric said, forcing a smile to reassure her. His words brought a faint smile to Stella's face in this dire moment. As they stumbled forward, a dazzling, colorful light suddenly burst into view. Their faces lit up with joy. My love, we've finally broken these cursed trials and found the path to the treasure cave, Eric shouted, elated. New life sparked in Stella's weary face, and they quickened their pace. "Hurry, Eric! We need to grab all the treasure before those villains do!" Stella chirped excitedly. They rushed toward the light, but despite walking for a long time, the distance didn't shrink. "My love, this cave is playing a cat and mouse game with us. We've walked so far, yet it's as if we haven't moved," Eric said, fear and frustration creeping in. "Why not use your Zambel's enchanted items?" Stella asked, startled. "You're right, but what if this cave's rules forbid it? In some trials, we couldn't use enchanted items. If that's true here, we'd face a gruesome death with no escape," Eric said, worried. "There's no harm in trying. Maybe the Zambel's items will work," Stella said hopefully. Eric took a deep breath. "Oh, Zambel's guardian dwarf, tell us how to escape this cursed cave. We've broken all 7 trials according to their rules, so why are we here?" he called, looking at the Zambel. No response came. The dwarf didn't emerge. "Guardian dwarf, I'm asking you something," Eric shouted louder, but still, no answer. He pulled the talking doll from the Zambel, but it vanished from his hand, returning instantly to the Zambel. "What's happening to me?" he exclaimed, reaching for the Suleimani tablet. Suddenly, a sharp voice rang out. "Beware, Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon. You cannot use any enchanted items until you follow this cave's rules, or your Zambel and all its items will vanish forever." It was the guardian dwarf at last. "Why? What mistake did we make?" Eric asked, his voice breaking. "Eric, is this the 70 trial trap? Have the trials gone awry?" Stella asked, collapsing again, her face pale with dread. Eric sat beside her, head in hands. They were trapped. Stella, overcome by the fear of death, lay on the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. Her tears fell, dripping onto the cold cave floor. Suddenly, faint flames appeared at the cave's edges. "My love, where did fire come from in this cursed cave? Now a gruesome death is truly our fate," Eric cried. Panic rising. Eric Hunter, legendary trickster, bane of sorcerers, will meet his end alongside his wife in the Sevenfold Enchantment. But just then, a booming voice echoed through the chamber. "Congratulations, Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon. You finally uncovered the secret rule of this terrifying cave." The guardian dwarf emerged from the Zambel, smiling. "Fire is spreading in this cursed cave, and you're congratulating us? Are you mocking our impending doom?" Eric asked, staring at the dwarf in disbelief. "No, my lord, I'm truly congratulating you," the dwarf replied calmly. "You fulfilled half the cave's secret rule. Follow the rest, and you'll reach the treasure cave. Fail, and in mere moments, this small fire will engulf the cave. You'll face a gruesome death." The dwarf replied calmly. "Why didn't you or the Zambel's items help us earlier?" Eric asked, bewildered. "My lord, you didn't offer the required sacrifice of 7 drops of your blood at the treasure cave's entrance. That's why you were led to this wrong cave," the dwarf revealed. "Additionally, this cave allows only one use of an enchanted item, which you've already used with the perfume vial to dispel the stench. That's why no other items worked. But thanks to the lady's tears, you can now escape," he explained, his voice. "Yes, guardian dwarf, tell us quickly. How do we follow this cave's rules and escape? We've broken all 7 stages of the Sevenfold Enchantment. Why are we in this horrific cave instead of the treasure one? What sacrifice did we miss?" Eric asked, elated, as Stella slowly rose, her tears finally stopping. "My lord, no genie, fairy, or enchanted item could have told you this. Before entering the treasure cave, you needed to offer 7 drops of your blood at its entrance to seal this horrific cave and gain access to the true one. But in your greed, you forgot and thus landed here instead. As for this cave's half-rule, one of you had to shed tears onto the cave floor. Princess Stella Moon has already fulfilled that beautifully, the dwarf said softly. Then he fell silent. Why are you silent? Tell us the full rule, Eric demanded, urgency in his voice. Promise you'll follow my words and not punish me, the dwarf said, trembling. What do you mean? We don't want to die. We want out of this cave. We'll follow any rule, Stella said, desperation in her voice, and Eric nodded firmly. You must each slap the other's face 7 times, hard, powerful slaps. If you don't, the fire will spread, engulfing the cave, the dwarf said hesitantly. Eric and Stella stared at the dwarf in shock and anger. This is no time for jokes. Tell us the real secret to escape, Eric shouted. As the cave's corners flared brighter, the dwarf insisted, I'm not joking. This strange rule isn't that terrifying. Hurry, or the fire will spread fully. Seeing the flames intensify, Eric and Stella looked at each other, stunned. Hurry, my lord and lady, time is short. Fail this simple rule and you'll face a gruesome death. Also, know that King of Arias and Queen Miraj made the same mistake and are trapped in another part of this cave. They've completed half their rule and are ready to fulfill the rest. Their rule is odd, but not deadly. If you delay, they'll reach the treasure cave first and take everything, the dwarf shouted. Without hesitation, Eric delivered a powerful slap to Stella's cheek. The force spun her face, tears streaming from her eyes as a sharp cry escaped her lips. Stella, in turn, swung her hand, landing a fierce slap on Eric's face, making it twist to the side. Tears welled up in his eyes from the sting. Well done, my lord and lady. Keep slapping each other in sequence, but don't let anger lead to punches, or you'll fail, the Zambel's guardian dwarf said, almost gleefully. Heeding the dwarf, Eric landed another resounding slap on Stella's cheek, turning it redder. Stella retaliated with a slap to Eric's face, drawing another cry. They laughed and cried simultaneously, their cheeks as red as tomatoes, determined to fulfill the cave's bizarre rule to reach the treasure cave before King of Arias and Queen Miraj, claiming the rare treasures. Eric delivered another forceful slap, the sound echoing with a thwack, as Stella's slap followed, resonating with a crack. Laughing and weeping, they continued trading slacks. Enough, my lord and lady. You've completed the required number of slaps. Now, if you want to vent your anger with punches, that's your choice. The guardian dwarf's chuckling voice rang out. They glared at him, furious. So, this was your joke, making us slap each other 7 times? Eric demanded. No, my lord, I spoke the truth. Look, the fire at the cave's edges has vanished because you fulfilled both of its rules, the dwarf explained. Eric and Stella looked and saw the flames were indeed gone. My lord and lady, don't delay. Your rivals are nearing the treasure cave, the dwarf urged sharply. They bolted toward the dazzling, colorful light, which grew closer this time. They entered the glowing cave, but their jaws dropped in shock, long sighs escaping them. My love, what's this? We're in another endless cave with no treasure in sight, King of Arias exclaimed, turning to Queen Miraj. My lord, the treasure cave must be here, just further ahead. We need to keep moving, Queen Miraj said, scanning the cave in awe. King of Arias placed a hand on his nose. I think we should cast a cleansing spell first to rid this place of its foul stench, he suggested. Queen Miraj nodded, startled. King of Arias closed his eyes, chanted a spell, and blew into the cave. The stench vanished instantly. Now let's find the treasure cave, Queen Miraj said, and King of Arias nodded eagerly. All the treasure is ours. We've broken the 7 stages of the Black Sevenfold Enchantment. It's rightfully ours, King of Arias said joyfully. You're forgetting, my lord. Our rivals are also in these trials, hunting the same treasure. They might reach it first, We need to hurry, Queen Miraj reminded him. You're right, my love. You're younger and stronger than me, so you're not as tired. These cursed trials had exhausted me, King of Arias said with a weak chuckle. It's not that, my lord. I'm exhausted too, but I don't want our efforts wasted. If those devils reach the treasure cave first, they'll take everything. We've broken one stage of the Sevenfold Enchantment, and they've likely passed their stage 2, so they're close, Queen Miraj said, worried. King of Arias started. You're right. Hurry, let's move. Those fiends can't be trusted, he said, quickening his pace. They walked for a long time, but the cave seemed endless. My lord, are we trapped in the wrong cave again due to some mistake? Queen Miraj asked, despairing, as the cave remained filthy and empty. Whatever it is, we must escape this cave and reach the treasure one. These trials have worn us out. We should have reached the treasure cave after breaking them, but something's amiss, King of Arias said, sitting heavily. Why did this happen? Where did we go wrong? Queen Miraj asked, startled, slumping beside him. I don't understand, my love. Why are we in this foul cave instead of the treasure one, when we broke all 7 trials successfully? You heard the trial's end declared, as did I. What's going on? King of Arias said, distressed. Could it be we needed to offer a blood sacrifice at the treasure cave's entrance? In our greed and haste after breaking the 7th trial, we might have skipped a crucial rule. Often, trials require a final offering, and failing it traps the victor in a deadly snare, Queen Miraj said, fear in her voice. King of Arias paled at her revelation. Then we've made a mistake. I'll chant the Jadu Jagu Shoshu spell, the most powerful one, to escape this cursed cave and reach the treasure, he declared. Queen Miraj nodded. King of Arias lay on the ground, closed his eyes, and chanted the fearsome spell. A carpet appeared, sparking joy. They could ride it to the treasure cave. But suddenly, it vanished. What? Where did the Jadu Shoshu carpet go? King of Arias exclaimed, shocked. Queen Miraj jumped in alarm. White squirrel, tell us why the carpet vanished, King of Arias demanded of the squirrel on his shoulder. But it remained silent, forbidden to speak in this enchanted cave. The white squirrel is silent too. Our magic won't work here, King of Arias said, panicking. Let me try summoning Haboon's black fox. It's an enchanted force that might show us the way out, Queen Miraj said. Try it, my love. Maybe our combined magic will succeed. King of Arias said hopefully. Queen Miraj lay down, closed her eyes, and chanted. "O black fox of Haboon, appear," she cried, her eyes red as a pigeon's, as if she'd cast a powerful spell. Smoke appeared, forming a black fox, and their faces lit up. But the fox dissolved into smoke and vanished. Where did Haboon's black fox go? We had questions, Queen Miraj cried, stunned. We're truly trapped, my love. None of our spells work in this cursed cave, King of Arias said, horrified. What do we do? Eric Hunter and his wife will reach the treasure cave first and take everything, leading us empty-handed again, like in our last quest, King of Arias said, despairing. To know about their last quest, check our previous playlist. You're still worried about the treasure when we're trapped? Our powerful magic isn't working. We must focus on escaping this cave to save our lives, Queen Miraj said, standing and scanning the cave, but no exit appeared. Let's chant the Kabara Rang spell together. It might work, Queen Miraj suggested, worried. Good idea. Combining our powers might prevent enchanted items from vanishing, King of Arias agreed. They raised their hands to chant. Stop, my lord and lady. You can't do that. You've already used one spell here. The cave's rules forbid a second spell, or you'll lose all your magic and become ordinary humans. The white squirrel's sharp voice interrupted, startling them. Without magic, escaping this cursed cave was impossible. White squirrel, tell us how to escape, We've broken all 7 stages of the Sevenfold Enchantment. What rule must we follow? King of Arias demanded. The squirrel remained silent, as if unable to speak. What do we do, my love? We can't use spells or enchanted powers, King of Arias said to Queen Miraj. Let's keep moving forward. Maybe we'll find a way out. We forgot to offer blood at the entrance in our haste and greed, landing us here. Now we're in deep trouble, with no visible exit, King of Arias said, voice breaking. Let's move forward and see what fate has in store, Queen Miraj said, taking a deep breath. Despite their exhaustion, King of Arias stood, and they pressed on. As they rounded a bend, a dazzling, colorful light appeared. Their gasps turned to cheers. Congratulations, my love. We're near the treasure cave, King of Arias exclaimed, and Queen Miraj smiled brightly. King of Arias and Queen Miraj hurried toward the glowing cave, but as they approached, its entrance shot upward, far out of reach. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't climb to it. My lord, how did the treasure cave's entrance rise so high? How will we reach it? Queen Miraj asked helplessly, staring up at the mocking entrance. I've done all the work and you just stand there. Do something. King of Arias snapped, frustrated at the unreachable light. In that desperate moment, his mind reeled with the fear of failure. What are you saying? I've helped you countless times in these trials, and yet you blame me? Queen Miraj retorted, stung by his words. She had supported him tirelessly, but now, facing death, he was pinning their failure on her. Do you know who you're talking to? I am the king of the Sevenfold Enchantment. All sorcerers bow to me, and you dare speak so boldly? King of Arias roared, his eyes blazing red with rage, his mind clouded by anger. Yes, I know who you are, but right now, you're as helpless as a common fool. Queen Miraj shot back sharply. King of Arias trembled with fury, grabbing her hair and landing a powerful punch to her back. Queen Miraj gasped, her breath knocked out, crying out in pain. She was delicate and frail compared to his strength, and his blow left her reeling. My lord, forgive me. I was wrong. I won't insult you again, she pleaded, clasping her hands before him. No, Miraj, you'll pay for this. I order you to become a rooster, King of Arias thundered, delivering another punch to her back. Please, my lord, forgive me. I won't defy you again, Queen Miraj begged, tears streaming down her face. I said you'll face punishment. Become a rooster, hold your ears, and stay that way until I say otherwise, he commanded, his rage pushing him to the edge of madness, venting all his anger on her. As you command, my lord. Queen Miraj sobbed, reluctantly assuming the rooster pose, holding her ears. As she did, scalding water began pouring from the cave's edges, steam rising from its heat. Congratulations, my lord and lady. You fulfilled half of this fearsome cave's rule. The white squirrel's voice rang out. Queen Miraj sprang up, startled. What do you mean, mocking us? As soon as Miraj became a rooster, boiling water started pouring from the cave's edges. And the treasure cave is still far above us, King of Arias demanded, glaring at the squirrel. My lord, this is the cave's rule. One of you had to become a rooster to break its higher spell, and the lady did so. Now, fulfill one simple condition and you can enter the treasure cave, the squirrel explained. I only ordered Miraj to become a rooster to teach her a lesson. If I hadn't, would we have been trapped here forever? King of Arias asked, shocked. Queen Miraj, equally stunned by the trial's bizarre rule, listened intently. Yes, my lord. Without this, you'd never escape. That was half the condition. Now complete the other half, the squirrel said. Tell us quickly, what's the remaining condition? Queen Miraj asked, smiling, relieved the fight had saved them. What I say next is true, and it will free you from this cave, the squirrel said. Speak then. Why the delay? King of Arias demanded. You must both become roosters, and say 7 times, "O cave, we've fulfilled your condition. Now release us." "You must do this together, or the rule won't be complete," the squirrel said after a brief pause. "What nonsense is this? How can the king and queen of the Sevenfold Enchantment follow such a foolish rule? Tell us another way," King of Arias roared. "I'm not joking, my lord. Hurry, or the boiling water will engulf you," the squirrel urged sharply. "You're wasting time. Act now, or it'll be too late." Hearing the squirrel's desperate tone, King of Arias and Queen Miraj exchanged embarrassed smiles, then assumed the rooster pose together, holding their ears. "O cave, we've fulfilled your condition. Now release us," they chanted 7 times in unison. "You've said it 7 times. Stand up. The treasure cave's entrance has lowered." "And you can enter," the squirrel announced. They stood, faces flushed with embarrassment. The entrance was indeed within reach, and the boiling water had vanished. "The world of trials is strange, where anything can happen at any moment," Queen Miraj said, elated. They had succeeded, and the treasure cave was mere steps away. Smiling at each other, they rushed forward and entered. But as they stepped inside, they froze in shock. "Well, well, King of Arias, I thought some beast had devoured you, but you're tougher than I imagined, surviving such powerful trials," Eric Hunter taunted, spotting King of Arias and Queen Miraj entering from another entrance. He and Stella had also paused, stunned to see their rivals. "You're the dangerous ones, Eric. We're the leaders of sorcerers, breaking these trials with our magic. Yet you, who barely know the basics of magic, defeated the same trials. You're the world's most dangerous duo, but you won't escape us now. Your deaths will bring peace to the realm of enchantment," King of Arias sneered, grimacing at Eric and Stella in the treasure cave. Queen Miraj mirrored his expression, knowing a confrontation with their true enemies was inevitable. By chance, both pairs, Eric and Stella, who broke the 7 red trials, and King of Arias and Queen Miraj, who conquered the 7 black trials, had entered the treasure cave simultaneously. Their eyes locked. The cave, filled with ancient treasures, suddenly felt more like a battlefield than a prize chamber. Eric Hunter and Princess Stella Moon had reached the treasure cave, thanks to the Zambiel's enchanted items. But seeing them, King of Arias and Queen Miraj grimaced in fury. A battle for the rare treasures and the crimson diamond loomed. "My love, grab the crimson diamond and let's offer it to King of Arias and Queen Miraj as a gift. After all, they're the esteemed leaders of sorcerers," Eric said with a sly grin. "Take 1 step forward and I'll break your legs." Queen Miraj snapped, ignoring the taunt and lunging for the diamond. Stella moved faster, but Queen Miraj reached it first. As Stella reached out, Queen Miraj yanked her hand away and dove for the diamond. Stella, furious, slapped Queen Miraj across the face. A sharp scream echoed, and the diamond slipped from Queen Miraj's grasp. Queen Miraj chanted a spell and blew enchanted air towards Stella. Magical ropes burst into existence, binding Stella where she stood. Smirking, Queen Miraj moved toward the diamond again. But Stella, even while bound, delivered a powerful kick, sending Queen Miraj screaming, tumbling away. Struggling against the ropes, Stella reached into her satchel and pulled out a white pearl, the gift from Prince Arsing Giant. She rubbed it against her clothing, and in a flash of white light, the ropes vanished. The pearl's enchantment had worked, once only. Queen Miraj, now furious, leapt up and charged. Before Stella could reach the diamond, Queen Miraj grabbed her hair violently. "Ah!" Stella cried out, the crimson diamond slipping from her hand and rolling far toward the volcano's edge. Enraged, Stella swung a fierce punch, landing right on Queen Miraj's face. The grip loosened. "Leave her and move," King of Arias shouted from across the cave. "The volcano pit is ahead, and the crimson diamond is near it. Hurry, or it'll fall in." Stella,
Forget her and go. The diamond's about to fall.
Eric yelled, his eyes fixed on the diamond teetering near the pit. Both women rushed forward, but Queen Miraj tripped Stella with a swift kick, sending her crashing down. As they neared the diamond, Queen Miraj grabbed it, but Stella yanked her foot, making her fall. The diamond flew toward the pit's edge. "I'll drink your blood!" Queen Miraj screamed, rising. But Stella was already up, both charging for the diamond. Suddenly, both women fell, as Eric threw a magical net to stop Queen Miraj. But he forgot King of Arias, who chanted a spell, binding Stella's feet with ropes, sending her crashing down. Both men glared at each other as their wives lay trapped. "You dared enchant my wife. I'll make your soul suffer for centuries," Eric roared at King of Arias. "You think you can harm me? I'll leave your soul licking its wounds," King of Arias retorted, having trapped Stella in a magical net, just as Eric had ensnared Queen Miraj. "The diamond's falling! Hurry!" Stella screamed, seeing it near the pit. Queen Miraj looked too, but before anyone could act, the crimson diamond fell into the volcano pit and vanished with it. All four stared, mouths agape, as their prize was lost. Eric and King of Arias glared at each other, fury in their eyes, each blaming the other for the loss. "Because of you, I lost the diamond despite breaking those terrifying trials. I won't let you live," King of Arias snarled. Suddenly, 4 massive chests appeared, their lids open, revealing rare red and white pearls. Eric and King of Arias's eyes widened, knowing a single pearl could buy an entire kingdom. King of Arias began chanting his most powerful spell, but Eric, quicker, tossed black pearls from his zambil onto the chests. These pearls, a gift from Prince Arsing Giant, could make objects vanish and reappear as fakes. The chests disappeared briefly, reappearing just as King of Arias' spell sent the fake chests to his enchanted vault. Eric's real chests were safely in his zambil. Though the crimson diamond was lost, Eric had outwitted King of Arias and Queen Miraj, who believed they'd won. "My lord, free the lady and escape. The Sevenfold Enchantment's trials are broken, and the diamond is gone. This cave will soon erupt in flames." The black squirrel on King of Arias' shoulder screeched. "Free Queen Miraj, or the fire will consume us all," the Zambil's guardian dwarf warned Eric. A warning King of Arias heard too. "This isn't the time to fight, or we'll both lose our wives forever," King of Arias said to Eric, who nodded, recognizing the danger. The cave could ignite at any moment, beyond their control. Eric approached Queen Miraj, while King of Arias chanted, freeing Stella from the ropes. Eric pulled the net off Queen Miraj, returning it to the zambil. "This is a critical moment. The cave's about to collapse. We'll face you again for the treasures," Eric said to King of Arias. "We're ready to crush you both next time," King of Arias replied, smug in his perceived victory. "Hurry! The cave's collapsing!" the black squirrel shrieked. "Get out now!" the guardian dwarf echoed. King of Arias and Queen Miraj chanted, vanishing instantly. "My love, the diamond's gone." "But what about the 4 chests?" Stella asked, voice heavy with disappointment. Eric smirked. "It's good the crimson diamond was destroyed. It would have caused chaos. If King of Arias and Queen Miraj had it, we'd have been in trouble. Even if we had it, it wouldn't sit right. Its power could have strengthened Lord Amir Hamza's army beyond steel, but they'd rely on it instead of their faith. Its loss is for the best. As for the chests, I can retrieve them from King of Arias' vault anytime," Eric said, consoling her. "2 of those chests are mine, Eric, and I'm coming with you," Stella declared. And Eric nodded. "You're lingering when the cave's about to erupt in flames. Grab the lady and let me get you out," the guardian dwarf shouted. Eric grabbed Stella's hand as flames roared to life. Had they delayed a moment longer, they'd have burned to ash. But the dwarf whisked them away just in time. The cave was left with nothing but blazing rocks.